Toast in the morning, toast in the evening, toast in the afternoon. How could I forget that you had given it up to me? Baby, cause you look so good and I really wanna taste. Can you put it on my face? Can I see you in some lace? Can you go at my pace, baby? I wanna go so fast and you wanna take that shit real slow. But all I really wanna know is how low can you go? Baby, all I want to do is just to see you feel no love. Except it's not. Matter of fact, it's toast. Baby, and it's hot. I just want to get it. Will you go and give it? I just want you to come around and tell me what you want if you really want it, baby. Cause you got it all. All I really want is some honey. Matter of fact, I put some butter on the honey. All I really want to do is getting that shit real good. Like, small cup, big cup. Go in the middle and get extra toasted. Extra. Only a real motherfucker.
A little taste of England. A little taste of England. A little taste of America. I wish it was.
Are we good? It's been so long. I don't even know how to do this anymore.
That was my DJ skip.
Yeah, I'm fresh.
So we're back.
Hey, everybody. Joe, you want to start us off? Season 2 for Joe.
Careful, watch it.
There it is. Okay.
Welcome one. Welcome all to season 2, episode 1 of the None of Our Business podcast. We are your hosts, Philip, Lanos, Cianan, Duncan, and I'm Joe, El Guapo, Castellano.
Like, we totally could just plug some shit in and have the sound effects, but for some reason I'm too lazy to do it every time.
Watch out now. You got your little beepy thingy, like I'm pointing my arm.
Cianan just pointed at his armpit.
He's like, you got your guns. You got your guns.
Your beepy thingies.
Welcome back, guys.
Yay. And I'm a proud member that I can be on season 2. This is awesome.
Cianan, you made it.
I made
season
it.
1.
I don't know why you're still surprised. Like, oh my God.
Because at any moment I can get axed.
Joe,
you
don't let him get comfortable, because that's how it works against us.
We're gonna have to, you know what?
You going on Trellies? I know.
We
all
actually
of our
wanted
topics.
it. I know
none of our topics.
We actually wanted to bring you on to episode 1 because this will be your final episode. And
goodbye, my friend.
I knew it. Goodbye.
Goodbye. Farewell. Auf Wiedersehen. Goodbye.
The gayest shit I've ever seen is on TV, and I don't mean like
Real
homosexual.
guys?
I mean like gay.
Wait, are those the basketball players?
Oh, like South Park game.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Why?
It's for hymns. So hymns is like a little.
It's a basketball player.
No,
right?
hymns is like a little service.
So there's a
where-
commercial with a bunch of shiny emojis and millions of guys taking this thing called hymns.
What's hymns?
It's like a regrowth hair regrowth formula.
Did you just see that guy
Yeah, he was
twerking?
twerking.
Yeah, he was twerking.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, we have the TV on. We are
Today
watching
is the Toronto. It's
Yes.
the Toronto Milwaukee game. It's
Yes.
game 3.
Joe is so old he still watches TV.
I know.
You know, for the
He's-
sports, you kind of have to watch.
but he's
TV.
watching it through.
But
a
I'm watching it through the
PlayStation.
PlayStation.
Yeah.
So, ha!
There.
Beat that with a baseball bat,
Little
bitch.
punk ass bitch, little schoolboy bitch.
Anyone
What's up, bitch?
who uses
Say something
advanced
again to Joe again,
technology-
bitch. Come on, bitch. Wait.
Wow.
Oh, sorry.
Keenan,
It's
Yeah, look,
because of
yeah.
all the sugar he ate before he
It's all
jumped
the
I
on.
had a
sugar.
lot of sugar. I rarely
Joe, I thought I told you not to give Keenan any sugar until
had-
it was.
a lot.
he just looked.
Yeah, and all
You
of a
know,
sudden I get all.
He looks so trashy.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Anyway, guys, we've been
Yes.
on a short hiatus. A lot's gone on in,
A whole
in the
lot.
world, and a lot's gone on within our lives. You know,
And that's a crazy shit, right? Only 2 weeks.
I know. Was it
2
2
weeks.
This
It
would be
was
our
2
third
weeks.
week, wouldn't it?
Well, yes. Sorry, 2 Sundays.
So yeah, we skipped 2 Sundays. This is our third Sunday back. So you guys haven't had us for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Did you miss us?
Did you miss
I
us?
missed it.
Did
Big old fatty
You never know what you have until it's gone.
laying right on your lip.
I hope you guys got what you deserve, bitches.
That's what you get for talking shit about. No,
We're
I
back
shit.
now.
It's like that Donnell Jones song where he's like, I need to find what life is like without you.
Oh,
As soon as people found out what it was like not to have Noob around, then
I
they
know.
were like,
They were
damn.
joking.
They're
Jonesing.
like, yo,
I got a message from a
got
little
some,
member.
got
So we give a shout
fucking
out
hit
to
ups
any
like,
people?
The first person that shout me out when I was shouting you guys out about how I miss being on the podcast was Ray. Ray sent a little message.
Hey, Ray,
and it was
man.
exactly like mine.
we're gonna be bringing you back on soon. You know,
Shout
soon.
out to Ray El
Mhm.
Barbon.
You know,
Yeah.
you're one of our favorites.
But he's doing his own thing, and I'm
Yeah, the
saying
Showtime
something.
Forum.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
Showtime Forum. Yeah. If you guys get a chance, shoot over to the Showtime Forum. Hit up
Oh,
Ray El Barbon
that's good.
on Instagram or
Mm.
Showtime Forum.
El Barbon.
Yeah.
Mm.
They got their podcast on. They're expanding. They're getting doper. They, you know,
Oh, yeah.
they had to rebrand, so that's sometimes you just have to rebrand. Sometimes you just have to take breaks. You know, just kind of to reset yourself. I know. Like we needed to do this. We needed to go on a short hiatus. You know, because sometimes a little too much of us can hurt you.
Sounds like a pretty personal matter there.
I'm not
Joe.
saying that it hurts me or anything, but you know,
I'm hurting. I'm hurting for mad squirting.
I'm hurting for
God.
mad squirting.
So speaking of squirting, Keenan, in
Yes.
that hiatus, did
So-
you get any squirting done?
I squirted on myself. That counts.
Oh God!
But I didn't hit
So
my
that's
face
a
this time.
no.
It totally missed.
Oh,
Yeah.
God.
Jeez.
I was able to dodge out the way. I had enough energy left in me.
By
'Cause
the
usually
end of season
you freeze,
2,
right?
we have to make sure you get a squirt on.
Even if I have to pay for it. I'm
See,
like,
finally,
fuck
thank
it.
you, ladies and gentlemen. Somebody's gonna pay for it. It's great.
Whoa, I
That's-
didn't say no. You're already assuming that you're not going to get anything. You're like, fuck it. I'm
Damn
just
it.
going to wait till the
You're
end.
still
of the
gonna help
season.
yourself.
He's like, I'm just going to wait till the end of the season.
Just-
Just,
and then
wait it out. And then
$1 a
somebody's going to
day.
pay for it.
Yeah. Cool thing about what you were mentioning before about what a lot has happened in 2
Mhm.
weeks or 3 weeks is my uncle at the time, he was big into boats, and we were talking on this thing about stories and history.
Boats and all.
And the crazy thing was that he was telling me how wild do you think it would have been, or it was, when we didn't, the only means of traveling across the sea was like a sailboat. So you can imagine the kind of shit, and it takes like what, months to maybe years to circle around to some other place on the planet that they could have missed through tons of
Historical events.
historical events and
it's like-
empires
yeah.
gone and come. It's like, what
It's
the
like
fuck?
it's
Yeah, you
like
bring up a
it's
good
like
point.
traveling in space. It's the
Yeah.
same idea, just on a grander scale. Like with space, if you travel, you miss that whole time that you were gone,
and then come
and
back
When
and
you, once
everybody's
you
gonna-
come back, you
Mhm.
missed that whole thing.
Isn't there like a phenomenon that takes place where they come back? Was it thinner or younger. What was it?
You don't age as fast as
Yeah.
people.
Yeah, because you're going in light speed.
If you get
So you're
closer speed to
traveling-
light.
Which isn't that insane to
Yeah.
think about? It's a distance, but yet it's also a time.
Unless you do a wormhole, and then no time has really passed.
If
You've been
the theory
reality,
of the wormhole was correct.
which they believe might be close to the truth now that we found that black
Now that
hole.
we found that black hole.
But it's
Have you found a black hole yet?
I've been
I
in
have
plenty
a
of
black
black
hole.
holes.
Oh,
Hey,
yeah.
hey.
You're like,
things,
yo, you forget, buddy.
things
I have
go in,
one.
but nothing comes out.
Wait,
what?
You should go see a doctor about that. Keenan, you are
Wait.
cut off from
We're gonna
all
have to give you a
sugars.
little bit of a
Turn my mic
push.
off.
Jeez, Keenan.
So anyway, things that
That
happen.
was a laxative
Yeah, I
term.
know. I guess it got a little runny, didn't it?
Whoa.
So, things that happen in squirting and stuff. No, I did not get my squirt off, but I came pretty damn close. Now, how much do you actually want to talk about this? Because this could be a whole.
It doesn't have to
it's
be
a whole
like-
separate thing in alone. I want to get to a lot of the topics. We list on Trello some really good shit to talk about. But my cocaine adventure,
Let's talk about that.
was one of those, and I remember.
We're not going to say who you were with.
No, I don't even know their names.
We're not even going to say if you partook in any of.
I
the-
didn't.
Okay.
So
So why would I want to hear about your coke adventure
That's
that
so
you didn't
funny,
do any
right?
coke? Like,
no, and when I tell the story to people, when I get to the end
Like,
about
but
the whole
they're
coke
like,
stuff,
so you
they're
didn't do coke?
and I know they did. They all said it, and they all like made fun of me afterwards. Like, wait a minute, this is supposed to be, an extremely illegal substance, and you want me to do it? Like, what the fuck?
Well,
Like-
here's the thing about coke.
Nothing good ever followed that statement.
No.
Oh yeah,
I think
ladies and gentlemen.
I think coke gets a bad rap. I think it gets a bad rap. I think it's an addictive substance, but so is things like fucking cigarettes
And
so are
sex.
things like
Sex
Coca-Cola.
is
sex.
Cola.
So are things like sugar.
yeah,
Like
sugar,
they're all addictive
coffee.
substances.
This one just happens to make me paranoid.
I mean, for some
And
people, it has
run
different
really
effects,
fast, yeah.
But like it, I think it's a pretty credible party drug.
Not that
Obviously, you
you've
can
ever actually
overdose.
partaken in it, but it,
In my younger days, I did things that in my younger days, I was
Are
all over the
you,
place.
you narc? What do you work for the
What are you,
Post?
narc or something?
What's going on over here?
No,
Work for the feds?
but again, like it just gets a bad rap, and people abuse it.
Well, that's
But-
how it gets. That's how anything gets a bad
Yeah.
rap is when somebody abuses it, and then more people abuse
exactly
it. Yeah,
people abuse it, and then if you abuse it, obviously you're going to get the negatives of it.
exactly.
So I mean, I'm not one to tell people not to do coke. I'm not one to tell people not to do anything that they want to do with their
And
own
I'm in
body.
the same positions. I didn't care when this whole night, which was a great night, and everybody would be proud of me up until the moment of that old coke adventure. But I didn't. When that moment came out, I definitely was like, I don't care. Now I don't care to the extent of, as if I'm around it and I get arrested for being around it, then I have an issue with it, because then it's like, well, I could have walked away, but I didn't. Even though I
'Cause I
don't
was
care that they
hanging out,
use
yeah.
it, they can use it in another room. But the fact that I'm in the same building, it's like, oh, well, that's stupid. That's
Guilty
really
by
stupid.
association.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And that's the
yeah.
only thing
And
that-
again, it's because of its classification with the
Schedule
government.
one.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
like
Same thing with weed and all that stuff.
But marijuana is still a Schedule 1 drug.
there are prescription
Mhm.
drugs that are bad. That but
Like
because the government said
modafinil.
it's okay.
Modafinil.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So
And
Again-
yet, I know people who are prescribed that shit.
Oh, yeah.
my thing is with coke, don't knock it till you try it. You don't have it. It's not. You don't have to. It's
Yeah,
not for
I don't
everybody.
think it's my thing.
I've heard that Coke is better for you than Adderall, though, because
Adderall does have a crazy negative effect. That I hear more about than
I
I
took
do
an
about
Adderall
Coke.
once, and the next fucking day, I
Mhm.
was trashed.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was so exhausted.
Oh, okay.
Mm.
So, it was a wild night.
Man, I'm of the mind that I've done so many drugs in my days that it's like, it takes a lot for things to affect
Sure,
me.
sure, sure.
You know,
I'm more like Louis C.K. I don't do drugs
But
so that when I do,
You can
They're
beat off
fucking
in front of
amazing.
people with no
Fucking
problem.
amazing. Yeah, but don't. again,
I've never had Viagra though. Have you guys ever had it?
No, I can't say
don't
I
think
have.
I really need it. I can get. Joe just touched my leg and I got the hardest hard on I ever had, but still.
Sometimes you got it. I have
That's
that effect
that's
on
not
people.
even like a made up story. That literally just happened.
I have that effect, you know. I have that effect on both male and
Keenan
female.
is hurting for squirting so bad. Joe accidentally grazed his leg, and Keenan was like, "Oh shit! Does this make me gay? Is this gay? Does this make me gay?"
Oh, like you guys see that Big Mouth? You guys watch Big Mouth?
Damn it, Joe.
You watch
No.
Big? You haven't seen
No,
Big Mouth?
you told me I
Oh,
really need
y'all
to see
gotta
it,
watch
but
Big Mouth.
what
There's
was
an
it?
episode where one of the main characters, he questions his sexuality
Yeah.
because like he can't get a girl, so he starts questioning his sexuality. He's like thinking that his best friend should probably be with him. Like it's funny. It's funny.
Well, I just think, I mean,
And I think they actually make out, and they're like,
Yeah,
this worked
yeah.
for you?
Really?
They were like, nah.
In the
not
end, the
really.
friend is like he makes out with him, and then he's like, "So what'd you feel?" He's like, "Nothing." He's like, "All right, just want to make sure." Cool then. He's like, "Oh, I guess I'm not gay for you." And he's like, "Okay."
yeah, I mean, like, I kid you not, yet I may or may not quote have had a hard on before. But the point is that I wasn't looking at you like, yeah, I'm gonna put my dick in you. It's just
You were just confused
it's
because
an
you were
act-
like, oh, God.
And even if you did,
action-
I would understand, brother. I would understand.
it's
I might not be able to help
It's getting
you.
pretty awkward in this room
But I
right
get it.
now.
just look into my
I'm
eyes.
sure
when
we
you
can
say
find.
that.
I'm pretty sure we can find some
No,
Pornhub or
Don't
X
make eye
video.
contact. No eye contact. It's the unspoken rule. You don't look at another guy in the middle of something like that.
If you exactly,
But see, that's funny
Getting
because
stroked.
that's how I know.
don't look at me in my eyes, my guy.
Because if I can get
Touches the tips. You're like, just don't look me in my eye, all right?
and then you look and like, wait, what happens if you bust a nut while you're looking in your friend's eye in like a
Hell no.
Damn.
like a-
Well, I don't know. It depends on the circumstances.
That's what I'm
Again,
saying. If there's a woman in between you and you
Yeah.
both bust nuts, but you looked at each other when you did it,
because if you're tag teaming, there is
and the
there
semen
is
touch just goes straight through her system.
no, there's already like an unspoken agreement between the two dudes. Look, we're gonna see each other's balls, and this is just something
Pretty
that's
much,
gonna
right?
happen right
How
now.
can you
So
not see another man's balls in a three-way?
It's bound to happen.
It'd be
Yeah.
weird to make it weird if you're actively
69ing,
having if you're actively having
It's
a
part of
threesome.
the contract. The minute
Yeah.
the clothes start coming off, you've agreed. Okay.
Like, dude,
Yeah,
all right,
yeah,
we're gonna see each
yeah.
other's dicks.
Yeah.
You know, it is
But let's
what
just
it
focus
is.
on
Like,
the tag.
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
If we
That's
happen to
crazy how we
cross
can shut our
eyes,
mind like
if
that.
we happen to cross our,
Yeah.
our eyes happen to cross, just
But
a
you-
wink and a smile, and just keep pushing.
No high fives.
Hey, fuck it. Some people do, you know.
We'll both do this.
Sometimes we did it. Not
Oh,
that
man.
not
I wonder if
that,
that actually has happened where both guys finished at the same time but in different holes. I never even seen that in a porno.
I'm sure it's happened.
I kid you not. Find me a porno where it shows that because I haven't seen it.
Nah, I'm sure it's happened.
Oh, well,
I wouldn't be able to tell you.
Keenan is literally asking us to find
like,
one for
somebody
him
please,
so that he can see
Because
it.
I just don't believe it. I don't believe that's true. I think that's an anomaly. Like
I need to make it so that
farting
there's
and
a
shitting.
third man coming.
Yeah. Like I rarely piss and shit at the same time. I mean, it's kind of hard to do that.
I've done that.
But it's rare. It's usually when I like sneeze or something. And then like
wait.
That it shoots out at the same time.
I can't laugh while using the bathroom though because it just comes out like.
Okay, so tell us
Yeah.
about your cocaine filled adventure because you
yes.
haven't said anything. You're just saying that it was wild and
Well, you guys segued. Okay, it wasn't my fault.
okay. We'll egg weighing back.
Egg way back. Okay.
Ixnay on the egg way and go A. Oh, gay.
Oh, what?
Oh, gay is the way you say gay in Big Latin. I mean, go in Big Latin.
Jeez, we're back, ladies and gentlemen.
Highway, ude, uye, ake me,
We
Hey.
are back,
ake me, ime,
back and better than ever.
ase, at they.
So anyway.
Anyway,
No, I was out with a friend, a mutual friend that me and Philly know, and it was just to get drinks and to catch up because they came back from another country, wanted to know what it was all about. Sorry if I don't announce your name because
you don't want,
just
don't air
can't,
anybody
can't do
out.
that. So
Also, you probably don't remember their names.
no. Oh, the person I was with through the whole night,
Oh,
I know
sure,
their
sure,
name because
but-
that's who I went to go see first.
Right.
So the idea was to go to
So you and your friend went out.
to a pub in Santa Monica.
Mm.
And I saw a few pubs along the way, and I was like, "Oh, we're meeting at some other pubs." So I was like, while we were having a great conversation at this new place, I decided let's go and venture out. They agreed to it, which is awesome. So when that happens, you know that the night's going to start to become. It's always a good time to keep done because everybody's agreeing to do whatever. So we would leave the bar.
Literally down for whatever. Like,
Yeah.
let's just do it.
This is Friday night. We leave the bar. We go down the street to the next bar, to another Irish pub that actually had a live band. It was awesome.
Like a Celtic?
No. It was a blues band.
Oh, okay.
Blues. You would like the
This
spot.
guy.
Yeah.
Celtic.
Yeah.
That's what it's called. Hey, my guy, like bagpipes and the
Got a
like.
bagpipe for you right here.
Oh no, wait. I think the Irish still use bagpipes, right? Or is it just the Scottish?
That's the Scottish.
Is it just the Scottish?
I think so.
Irish don't.
I mean, my last name's Duncan. Which
Sorry,
is
any
Scottish,
Irish
so-
people, don't fuck me up.
I know you're getting.
And those guys can fight.
Yeah,
Yeah, they hate you.
Oh, Conor McGregor. No, that was Scottish. I
No,
can't
he's
do an
Irish.
No, I'm saying my
you're-
accent,
yeah.
whatever.
So yeah, first bar down, several drinks in. Second bar down, several drinks in. Live band. Flirted with the waitresses a little bit.
Okay.
Then we walked to go to. Can I name the places? I can't. I shouldn't name the places either. So
It'll be too specific.
It'll be
You don't
too
want
specific,
anybody running into you,
yeah,
bro.
exactly. So one of the other places is another known place that has live music and stuff. So
All in Santa Monica.
all in Santa Monica. My friend, and it's a few block radius. My friend I went to go see, never been there before.
Damn, and you live all the way in like
In Tarzan,
Tarzana.
is from super. Oh, I should have said that.
For reference to people who don't live in LA, in the LA area,
It's
that's about an hour away,
Yeah, an hour.
more or less.
Keenan
yeah.
is dedicated to the good night out.
Yes,
He really is.
yes, because I had
By any
several
means.
the past 2 weeks.
So no one can say that Keenan isn't making the effort.
Yes. So this we're going to go to the third bar. We got to drive to the third bar. So as we're walking back to my car, we saw this karaoke joint that was on the way. And my friend was like, yeah, let's agreed with me to go in there. So we went to the karaoke joint, had several drinks in there. It's just like the place Brass Monkey, but in Santa Monica, everybody's really into it, close, very good.
Yeah.
So we're 3 bars in, 6 to 7 drinks, shots, everything in. Then as we're going back to my car was parked in front of a nightclub, a dance club. So I walk up to the owner, the door person, and say, can we get it? How much is it? He says free. So I was like, hey, you want to come in? He's like, sure, down. So we now are to our 4th place, which is playing not techno music, but it's like house or house, something you can dance to. But good enough because they're playing some Latin vibes into it. I was like, oh, this is my jam. So
Right up your alley.
we get more drinks and we're dancing on the dance floor now. A couple of girls come up. We in a big circle. We're not really close, but so now we're at 4 bars, several drinks in, dance, karaoke. Now we finally go and agree to go to the 5th bar, which is the music spot. Go in the music spot, and now we're drinking at that bar. And I was like, I was feeling it. So I was saying, hey, let's go to the dance floor. So we go to the front. There's a live band playing, and that was awesome too. And then, so we're drinking and dancing. Then 2 girls come up and they start dancing with us out of nowhere. Never met them, never seen them.
A 2 for 1.
Yeah, just start walking up to both of us because we're just having our time in the corner.
Oh, 1-on-1.
Yeah, well, we eventually split out, and he's dancing with someone else and dancing with somebody else. And then, so as we're dancing with these girls, sometimes they'll go back into the bar and get a drink, and I'm just dancing by myself. Once I'm dancing by myself again, this other girl, super hot,
Damn.
a white lady, blonde, white, super hot girl, walks up to me and takes my glasses off and puts it on her face. And then
And she's like, damn, nigga.
no, so I make some joke about how blind I am. I don't know what it is, but I keep the glasses off. Maybe that's a sign I shouldn't be wearing my glasses. So I keep them off. But right after she gives me the glasses back, she turns around, shoves her butt in my crotch, and then grabs my hands and then puts them on her chest. And now we're swaying back and forth to some hip hop.
You got a full raging boner at this point.
I tried so hard not to have one. I was literally leaning back.
You were already
I was
juicing,
hunchback.
huh? You were pre-coming already.
I literally was a hunchback on the floor. But all the moves that I learned back with my ex, because
That's what he was. Like, she just gently grazed him, and he was like, no, don't do it. Please.
Some,
All right, and then
Jason Biggs,
Oh yeah.
American Pie.
it was pretty bad because I wasn't. This is not expected. We're at our fifth bar. We're drunk. We're drinking. We drank the whole
So
night.
she came on strong.
Super strong, which is like that's the ideal for Keenan because Keenan's clueless, and I don't know, So the fact that she did that, so I was trying to get into it, but not take advantage of it as much as I could, and be one of those guys and have her shoo away. So I'm dancing with her, doing my great dance moves and flipping around with the salsa and Latin stuff, because I did that before my ex at Latin clubs, which she committed on, saying I was a good dancer. So that was great. And then after I was done dancing with her, the other two girls I was dancing with before came back and we danced a little bit for the rest of the night. But then they asked, one of the girls was like, I live across the street. And me and my friend were like, okay. And then, so I was like, what does that mean? Obviously, she said right after that, you guys want to come over. And I was like, I was freaking out and I was mouthing, I wouldn't want to say out loud, but I was like, what the fuck? I don't know. Let's just see how it goes. This never happens to me. So,
well, actually, it has, but you've been oblivious to it
twice. But I didn't want to. I knew they were drunk. Anyway, this girl wasn't drunk. So that's why I agreed to do it.
Okay.
But still shouldn't do it because we're all strangers. But anyway, we went across the street to their house, and then I hear them on the phone talking about calling up their drug dealer or something like that. Very nonchalant, just out in the open, like it's perfectly okay.
Because it is.
and we walk up to the house, and the house was really nice apartment. And I continue to dance in the kitchen with one of them. My other friend goes off and talks to the other one. But when we get in there, they ask if we want to have some Coke. And then I was like, I don't do that stuff. But my friend was saying that he's totally down the clown, whatever. So they flip out this, huge
tray,
old bag and starts chopping it up. And I was like, God, hey, it was crazy because they're offering it to us, and they invited us up to their place.
When in Rome,
right? And so all that stuff up until that moment, everybody would be proud of me. However, now comes the part where you won't be proud of me because obviously nothing happened that night. I wound up going home with me and my friend. I just went back to my place. And that was because the person I was trying to hook up with that night said that they had a boyfriend, and they made it clear that they had a boyfriend. So most people that I run into will be like, yeah, that's cool.
Yeah,
you shouldn't,
of course.
shouldn't. Some say you should. And
morals
be like,
and ethics dictate that, yeah, you should respect that boundary.
Exactly.
However, if the boundary it's easier to say, hey, by the way, I have that.
Yeah.
But then the action is speaking otherwise by inviting you over.
Exactly. With the drugs. And I was like,
it's almost like saying, just don't ever expect this to happen again.
Yeah. Well, it was really upfront where it's like, we're going to invite you to our house, but we're not going to have sex with you. That if that was said prior, like before.
No, that's not. They were saying we're going to invite you to the house. Just don't expect this to turn into a relationship.
No. It's purely it wasn't relationship related. It was like sex. Nobody's having sex at this house.
But what they meant was like, it's never going to happen again. It's a one night thing. Let's have some fun.
With the stuff.
They never said, hey, we're not going to have sex. Did they ever literally say that?
Yes.
She literally said that to you?
Yes. Yes.
At what point?
Before and after she mentioned about her boyfriend. So before she mentioned about her boyfriend.
Before or after the cocaine?
Before the cocaine and after the cocaine.
Oh.
She said it 3 times that night. And she said her friend wasn't going to have sex with my friend either. And that's when I knew that, well, to me, that was I don't know. I just felt like.
I think you did well.
Yeah,
I know I did well, but in my mind, I was like, I'm not going to be here if that's the case. And it's kind of messed up to mislead me into thinking that if you said, hey, we're just going to have a good time, we're going to do this, but we're not going to do anything past that, I would have been okay with that. But you said absolutely nothing until I was hinting at, hey, I want to do something with you tonight.
But why should you have any expectations?
Yeah, because who knows? Maybe they were open to it. And then once it all got into play, the ambiance or the tone wasn't right, and they just
No,
decided.
but
If
see,
they
what
were
I'm
open-
saying,
yeah.
I'm saying is why did you go with the expectations that you were potentially
I
going to have
didn't.
sex?
I didn't until I got invited to their house and do drugs.
Yeah, but they never.
Sometimes people just want to
stated
do
that-
drugs with other people.
Well, I haven't
guess.
been with that
No, I
kind of
know, I
scenario.
know.
Most of the time, most of the time when I tell these stories to people, they say, "Why didn't you have sex?" I'm with those people.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
so that expectation is with a lot of people, not just myself.
Yeah. A lot of
and-
people assume that.
And a lot of people say that you should be clear about your intentions before doing anything anyway. So I'm coming from that mindset of, well, why didn't they be clear with their intentions before?
There's also
you
a
know-
little bit of a game. People like the game thing.
Yeah,
I
because
guess so.
maybe there was an intention, but once they were already there, like maybe we're not feeling
So,
it.
yes,
And that's
So
a
let's not
possi-
have sex.
and that's a possibility, but I don't think there was. I don't know. It's hard to tell for me.
Sometimes the right word or two will take the tone in the way it needs to go for that, and sometimes the wrong word or two will make it so that it's just not that.
I really don't remember saying that much. I was trying. Maybe I was too quiet. Maybe I should have said something. But I remember dancing with them in the kitchen and being as openly friendly as possible.
Because it's like a trust thing at that point. Like
Yeah.
even the most promiscuous person still needs some kind of signal that will establish a couple of things, right? One, you're not crazy
Mm,
or a killer, right? Two, that you know how to keep a secret or whatever, you know what I
Right.
mean? And then three, that's not the only thing you're looking for, because then part of that seems kind of like, it's weird because you can't want it, but you have to be open to it. It's a weird thing, right? And the easiest
Yeah.
way to establish that is to either tell stories that illustrate your trustworthiness,
Mm.
that illustrate your craziness or openness to things, and also your non-detachment. I mean, your non-attachment to things. If you can espouse those opinions and go like, yeah, this reminds me of a time, blah, 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 and yeah, you know, it was got to sort of establish in a safe way what your character is, possibly, probably. And then from there, it's up to them to then take actions to decipher whether or not your character does reflect the very facts that you were trying to espouse in your stories. And that sort of communication is very subtle. It's a lot like body language, but it's part of the game, if you will.
mm. Wait, so are you saying there was a possibility?
If
Yeah.
you would have set the right tone.
could have
And
always
I
been a
just
possibility.
don't feel like that's true. I feel like they were that lady was definitely set on not doing anything, regardless of whatever
Just remember,
smoothness.
attraction
But it-
isn't
but-
a choice. I'm not saying to force yourself on people,
Yeah.
but it's clear that attraction is not a choice. That's why if somebody happens to be turned on by something,
Uh-huh.
it's not them. It's them being responsive to something. And so that something is the way you carry yourself, the things that you say,
Yeah.
the way you articulate your ideas, things like that. They can create a response.
Yeah, I think you shouldn't assume that there was never any expectation of having sex, because if she stated that you guys weren't going to have sex,
Mhm.
once you guys had already arrived,
Yeah.
then she has every right to change that her mind on that.
Yeah. So
Because-
so then that's
But it's not to say that she lured you in and intentionally wasn't going to try to have sex with you.
no. But I knew that the moment she said that, I was clear about that.
Yeah, but that
It
was
was-
after the fact you guys had already arrived.
Yeah, like when we got into the door, I would say within, I don't know, 5-10 minutes,
Mhm.
she mentioned that.
Yeah.
And then shortly after that, I don't think I was. At least I don't believe I was continuing to be flirtatious. But then again, I was drunk, so I don't remember most of what I was doing.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe whatever. I don't know. Something I must have said to bring it up so that she did have to repeat that she did have a boyfriend, and then also mention that her friend wasn't going to have sex with
Yeah,
my friend.
and that can happen in the blink of an eye for a female. Like,
Okay,
That
you
could
can
happen,
get all
yeah.
the way to just about putting it in, and they have a right to change their mind,
I have,
and will,
yeah,
and
Yeah.
they will usually, yeah.
Yeah.
So.
so it's not up for us to be like, well, what then? If she wasn't going to have sex with us, then why did she even invite us? Because you don't know. She
Your
might
point-
have had that intention.
the
and then
usual
it
effort is
changed
just to make sure people are having a good time. That's it. Everything else will happen on its own.
it. Yeah.
And there's
So,
always a good
yeah.
time with Cianan.
You were pretty close
Yeah.
there.
But it's more about, I don't know, it's more about it's not just me though, that when it's that expectation or that assumption.
Well, yeah, for
It's-
someone to say,
it's-
"Hey, you want to go back to my place?" I get it. You're like, okay,
Well, that's where our differences in our conversations right now is having, is that it's almost as if you're saying that I can't assume that thought.
You can
At
assume
all.
it, but
That's
it
what I'm
can't be.
saying.
It can't be your only assumption because
so it's
Yeah.
it's like saying, okay, this might happen, this might not happen. Let's see where it goes. Is what Joe's trying to say.
yeah.
Whereas what he's trying to
Don't
keep
be
is,
set on.
I'm going.
I'm
and now
going,
we're
so
doing
we're
it.
gonna have sex.
To do it
Yeah.
instead,
You can't-
he's just saying. But okay, so two things, right? You're saying, hey, she's giving me mixed signals because I was under the impression that, like everyone else usually is,
Mm.
if someone says come back to my place, we're gonna do it, right? And Joe isn't saying not to think like that. He's just saying don't be tied to that as the only possible outcome.
Yeah.
That's what the outcome is going to be
Yeah.
because it could change, like I said, in the blink of an eye. It could be.
Which it did. Yeah.
Yeah. So initially,
And just like it changed, it could have changed again.
yeah,
But
and
see,
it could have
that's-
changed again.
And that's where I am in difference with both of you, because I was fed enough information where I know that that's not a possible scenario. That's what I'm saying. I wish that's what I'm saying. I wish all the stuff I talk about and say about, I could press some little button and replace
I
myself
get
with
it.
anybody else
yeah.
just to see if it actually went through or not.
And also, I don't know what your homie was doing, and it's probably someone that I love and respect.
Uh-huh.
But there should have been some wingman action because I don't know if there was any help in that, because it's not just you that was responsible for the ambiance that would have led to that experience. It's your confidant that was there with you that should have helped also create that ambiance, that almost electric energy in the room where it's just like something just has to go down.
I think there might be a
Vibes.
difference at that point, because at that point, once you're already in the environment and they had already split ways.
Oh yeah, that's right.
That's
You
like
guys had already
every man
parted,
for
huh?
himself.
Mhm,
Right?
mhm.
Yeah, that's every man
Mhm.
for himself.
Mhm.
So there could have, you don't know, Keenan, like you were drunk, so there could at any point you could have said
yeah.
something or done it, made an
And by
action.
the way, and in
that-
no way, whatever I'm saying it's not a critique. Like,
That-
I'm
yeah, that
just
might have
making
changed it.
observations.
That's fine. I just felt like because you're not the only ones that say that I should have said or stayed or said something else or did.
I'm not
whatever
I'm not necessarily saying that you should have stayed and prolonged it,
Uh-huh.
because I mean, you getting out at the moment that you realized
And we
maybe
weren't
something
there,
was wrong.
so you
Right.
know better than
Yeah,
us.
No, yeah.
But the fact that you did, you kind of changed it. You were like, "Fuck it, all right. If it's not going to go down, then the fact that you recognized it soon enough to prevent something, then it's a good thing. I think it's a good thing that you left and fuck it, you didn't fuck and you said no to the drugs, but you recognized immediately that maybe the situation
pimp.
wasn't as ideal as you wanted it to be. So you're like, all right, fuck it, it's not going to go down. Let's dip. That's good. Anybody telling you otherwise, like, oh no, you should have stuck around longer and done this and this and that.
Were they
Because-
fine?
the one I was talking to was definitely, she wasn't tall, she was short.
Was it
but-
juicy fruit?
Yeah.
Nice
Was
little
it
thing,
toast?
huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hot toast. It was good.
But you got out at the moment that you felt something was not
And that's
right.
the most
So
important thing,
that's
is
the
trusting your
important part.
intuition, regardless of what any of
So
us
if anybody,
fucks
if
say.
anybody is telling you like, oh no, you should have stuck
Including
around, or you
me.
should have pushed a little
Yeah.
harder.
I could
no,
also fuck off for trying to talk about a
Because-
situation
yeah.
I wasn't a part of, you know?
Yeah.
no, exactly, because that's how that gives people the amount of time necessary to say, well, I was uncomfortable, I told him no, but he stuck around. Like
I did.
then that
Which-
becomes a situation,
Oh,
you know?
Well, I stuck around in the sense of that the conversation was purely friendly wise. It wasn't
Mhm.
like I'm trying to make any innuendos or hints at anything or anything like that. It's
Yeah,
almost like talking,
Chopping it up.
chopping it up. Yeah. And then I left. So it wasn't like, you see that I don't want to give out the wrong thing where people think they're hearing this and like, oh, Keenan found out that he's not having sex, so he just dipped. It's like, no, I stayed longer, and had an enjoyable conversation for a little bit longer than just saying,
Well, we're
I'm
not
out
going to have
into
sex
your
on
face.
out.
Yeah, because then now I look like a real asshole.
You played it a little better. See, I think you did great.
As much as I want to be an asshole, I still do the
you know, the climate has changed so much that, you know, the sexual tension and male female, that atmosphere has changed so much in the last 5 years that it's like, you'd rather not do something to prevent a worst case scenario.
yeah.
You know?
And if a girl says, I'm not gonna have sex with you, and she had a boyfriend, you two wouldn't go, you know, I don't care. I'm just gonna
the old me might have.
Yeah.
Like the super younger old me that used to fucking fuck shit up when I was fucking 21, 22 might have been. And believe me, I might have been able to finesse it to where it did happen. But
Same,
in the current the way that things are right now, like you can't do that
I also may have
anymore.
fallen into the very same situation where it just didn't work out, and I was like, all right, and then I went home, which has happened to me plenty of times. It's not like I've had 100% score every time. Somehow I'm just irresistible. And they don't know it.
Yeah.
Aren't you
No.
feeling?
No. But although some people would like to believe, especially me,
I mean,
it's not true.
I'm at a solid like 90%, you know, but that's
Yeah.
neither here nor there. No.
I mean, since like back in the day, like
back in the day,
yeah, back in the day.
you know, like, but again, the old me would not survive the current climate. I don't believe so.
Okay.
Because I was the dude that would finesse the female to where
he's
she's
like
"Fuck yeah."
from the Too Short era.
Like the dude could be in the next room and you still try and smash it.
I plead the fifth, my G.
God damn.
I plead the fifth.
God damn.
And
Yeah.
and Keenan, you've seen me around enough back in the day, I think, to get an idea.
A little bit, yeah.
It's
Yeah.
just-
I've
Yeah.
seen you both. But I guess I don't know. I guess I want to be that, but I just somehow I can't
You don't
go
need
through
to
it.
be, but that's the thing. Like you have to adjust yourself with the times as well now, and you can't be that dude. Like
Which I never. I mean,
That's such an important topic.
Yeah.
That's such an
Yeah.
important topic that dating isn't what it used to be. One,
mhm.
most people date online now, anyways. Believe
Yeah.
it or
I just
not.
joined Twitter.
Right.
Twitter. Tinder.
Tinder,
I just joined it.
Bumble.
right, you
Bumble
did.
is another good one.
That one too.
And Inner Circle.
That one.
Planet.
You joined all
All
the
three.
dating apps?
Yeah. I need to sign up for Fish for Hose. No, I need to sign up for OK Cupid, and then I forgot another one. It's supposed to be 4. No, yeah, 4.
Those are pretty good. In particular, Bumble
Yeah.
is pretty good.
Yeah.
I would say Tinder and Bumble would probably be the most likely in terms of radius and
Mm-hmm.
overall. There's a lot of like people out there that are like spamming or just
Yeah,
probably
I've
not
come
something
across a
interested
few
in.
spams.
But yeah, but okay. So the landscape has changed dramatically,
Mm.
not just in terms of values, in a political way too. In terms of the casual experiences that people can have nowadays, it's not as European as people think it is. It's not as casual to just fall into it.
Mm.
And yet there are still environments where that is pretty casual, but those aren't the environments you usually spend your time in anyways.
No,
So-
no. And a lot of me feels like I should be living, trying to live my high school years in my mid 30 years. Like the person I was in high school is perfect for the person right now.
And one thing
And I
is
still am,
absolutely
kinda.
true. You can chase the sex and lose money, but you can't lose the sex chasing money.
That's right. Yeah, I know that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's one thing to have priorities, but it's also one thing to have needs. And I totally get it, man. And
Yeah, and it was fun and I enjoyed it. I mean, I kid you not, I still take it as one of the best nights that I've had because it was all unplanned.
absolutely.
I went to fucking 5 places, 3 live bands.
I mean, that's still an
Tons
epic
of-
night.
yeah, and then had a really
And
hot
you
lady dance.
always
and
have an
crap,
epic
you know?
night.
Yeah.
You always have that's why the hashtag always a good time with Keenan Duncan
Uh-huh.
exists.
Y'all better recognize.
You guys can look it
Yeah.
up. Keenan is spelled
Last
Cianan.
Last week,
Last
I
week?
went to that the last Sunday show for
Yeah. Raised on
Raised on TV. That was cool. We
I
had
booked that.
That was a cool show, man. Keaton and them are
Mm-hmm.
they're dope.
Joe finally got to meet my celebrity friends.
Yeah. So yeah, met Keaton, met his mom. Cool people, super cool.
Awesome.
Mhm.
Then we went and did some karaoke.
Some
It was
karaoke?
tight. Key and
I danced
had
with a white lady, but only by the forceful push of Joe because I was feeling very nervous. I didn't want to do it. I was like,
See, that's a
like,
wingman.
yeah, that is a wingman.
Do it. And then I fucking was so sloshed.
He was-
I was
Joe got sloppy?
sloshed
I
that-
think I just might have saw a little bit of whiskey come out.
dude, I was so sloshed I couldn't even do the song. I was like, fuck, I'm drunk. All right.
There was karaoke afterwards?
Fuck, I'm drunk. All right, here we go.
He was talking shit to the other karaoke people singing. Then when Joe got up, he was just mumbling all this shit.
I was fucked up. Yeah.
It was great. It was great.
awesome.
Joe, what happened, man? You got a reputation to keep.
He started
What's
hanging
going
out with
on?
me. That's the
Here's the
problem.
thing. No. Here's the thing. I drank too much. Because I'm cutting off beer.
Mhm.
So I'm just drinking like liquor. And I forgot. You know?
The sugars
It's
in
not-
liquor though are still gonna hit you in some way if it's like a physical fitness thing. That the reason you cut off like the beer
certain
belly
drinks, right?
situation.
Because-
Well, beer specifically because of all the water weight you gain.
Right,
from,
right.
from
Water,
drink,
the
'cause
weed.
you consume it a lot, you know?
Yeah.
So
like at least
that's
with
helped me
at least with
before.
wine, the flavonoids and all the other things,
Yeah.
they still have some sort of the blood flow.
But you can do
for
tequila,
hypertension,
tequila,
tequila's the one,
and
yeah. But how many tequilas can you have to sustain the night, right?
Yeah, dude.
Tequila Joe is
had,
probably crazier than whiskey Joe.
has there ever been a tequila Joe before?
No, I don't
that
think
doesn't
so.
exist. That's like going to another paradigm.
I've shied away from tequila
new
for years
echelon.
because It was just not good. But yeah, so we went.
That's like
Super
ultra
Saiyan?
instinct.
Yeah.
I know, man. But
Moving.
He starts glowing a yellow. Like what the fuck?
dude, like boom, be ready.
Yeah, but yeah, that was an awesome night. We had an awesome night. It's more and more things like that
Yeah.
are.
Thursday we went and Wednesday we went to watch Wealth Mother.
Oh my god!
Yeah, we went to
Oh
Wealth Mother show.
shit!
Yeah.
Philly,
I know.
what the
I'm pretty sure I
fuck?
missed out. I'm pretty sure.
You
You
missed
guys
out
know,
on
Oh
a
my
look,
sick
God.
ass show.
anybody
Even their
who's
opening
listening
act.
knows that
Yeah.
I have been unavailable for a while.
Understandable. This is just. I just wanted to say, for you, Philly, not that you had to be there, but it was something that was like, just the energy, just the energy alone.
Yeah, it was dope.
The first band the starter band, there was only one opener,
Yeah,
and then
it was like the six white
something
Undies,
the Queens,
something
something.
like that.
It was they were
No,
they were good.
They were super dope.
They're really good.
At first, like I saw him and I was like, I
Little
don't know. The
pretentious,
first
little-
song, the
Yeah.
first song was a little. It was a decent song, but I don't know for whatever reason the lead singer kind of, I don't know. He just I was like
He was
I didn't
going
get
around
into
dancing
him
like-
right away.
Yeah, like Mick Jagger.
he was
kinda
very
shit.
Mick Jagger-y,
Mhm.
like very
Mhm.
like he was Mick Jagger. He was a Mexican Mick Jagger.
pretty much.
Yeah. And you could tell that was his little
That's
gimmick.
his gig.
Like,
That's his
his
shtick.
thing.
Yeah,
But
we were close. We were on.
yeah, we were literally
we
from
can
the stage.
touch the stage. And
We
it's
were
like,
stage left. Like you know how the Roxy curves?
yeah,
It has a bullnose.
right up against the booth.
Yeah,
with the
so
recording.
we're stage left of the bullnose, right next to the engineer.
And it's just crazy that like these are artists that are playing in arenas and festivals all through the mid 2000s and stuff like that. And now we get to see them 1 foot in front of us.
Yeah,
like as if they were a band that was still on the come up.
yes,
it was dope.
Yes.
Man.
That must have been
It
sick.
was super dope.
yes. That's what really. That's what
I'm sure they love it too. Like to be able to play that close.
Oh, yeah,
it's so
yeah.
different. You know,
Yeah.
after a while, the big ass crowds and
That's one of the comments he made. Midway through his set, they were like, he was like, or maybe it was in the beginning. He was like, rock and roll still lives on Sunset or something.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
That was dope. I was
Yeah.
like, yeah, you're fucking right. It does.
Yeah.
Because literally, you could go to like any of those Sunset,
Whiskey
old-
Go Go Viper.
yeah, you
They're
can go
all
to any of those and
close.
still find some dope ass rock.
Mhm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
so
They got rid of the Key Club though. That used to be the spot.
yeah, now it's
or the Knitting
what's it called
Factory,
now?
dude.
Knitting Factory too.
The Knitting Factory. I haven't been there.
That's been gone
Way
for
back,
years.
yeah.
We need to try
It
and
still
go to-
exists in Brooklyn though.
No, I'm
My
sure.
buddy works
like
there.
like
Knitting
yeah.
Factory.
BB King still does
Yeah.
too.
Oh, damn! Fuck! I have to try and.
Places to go. Yo,
Yeah.
if we ever go out to New York, we gotta go visit Brooklyn, Williamsburg, and go check out.
I love
Knitting
how every time
Factory.
you talk about New York, you get the accent back. He's like, he turns it on. He's like, whenever it comes to New York, he turns it on. Like, for me and we gotta get back there.
Hey,
Gotta get back there. I
When
tell
I
you,
was
go to
over there-
Brooklyn, take the.
When I was over there, everybody just assumed I was born in New York.
That's funny.
Nobody even pegged me for being from LA. Isn't that
You
crazy?
hear it?
Yeah.
Nobody pegged me. It was nothing. Oh God.
We got to
Everything I
figure.
love.
We do got to figure out a way for me to travel. I haven't traveled to anywhere in years. I haven't even been to San Francisco in about 2-3 years. It
Damn.
sucks, man.
Yeah.
Mm.
We got to get up to the Bay.
California
The
love.
finals are going on.
Oh yes.
No, I mean these are the Eastern Conference finals.
What
but,
the hell?
The Bay Area.
The Raptors,
back
Toronto
down.
Raptors.
But
But
it looks like a T-Rex.
Yeah.
yeah, it does.
Yeah.
It's a dinosaur, you know.
all
or
mammals.
what we think a dinosaur looks like.
We come pretty close. I mean, some of that stuff was formed already, in its own little capsule from tar pits or in dirt. Like the spinal cord will be connected to some ribs, and we can make out most of that stuff.
Yeah. No. I'm not saying we can't, but I'm saying
Yeah.
like the flesh
Oh
portion
yeah,
of it.
yeah. That
What
obviously.
what the hair was
Mhm.
like if they had hair, things like
Mhm.
that.
They're trying to reclone that mammoth. I think they found.
Oh yeah, they are.
I'm not sure if they
They also
successfully
are
with that.
recreating a bunch of old Egyptian,
Pharaohs. Really?
pharaohs with 3D printing machines. Like,
Oh, cool.
so what? You know how some shit is so brittle, like you
Mhm.
can't really examine it.
Yeah.
They're first doing a 3D
have to scan, yeah.
X-ray,
Yeah.
and now recreating it
Yeah.
so they can touch and feel and get a better understanding of
That's
those
really
things.
cool.
And they're
Fucking
taking
crazy,
the
man.
actual things first,
Yeah.
putting them in the lab, borrowing from the museums,
Of
putting
course.
them in the lab.
Yeah.
And the whole thing with that is that now it's going to spark controversy over ownership.
Oh God, that's so stupid. It's almost like the whole. Is it the Pantheon? I forgot. Somewhere where the British came in, took a bunch of shit from Greece, and then now it's in their museum, and everybody's, bring it back. So we can talk about. That can be a topic later, especially when I research it.
But
But
he's like, once I look into it, I want to delve
but I know
into
it's a
that.
thing. I swear, I know it's a thing. But we had
Yeah.
a whole bunch of shit.
Yeah, we do have a bunch of stuff. There's been a lot of talk about I don't know, do we want to get serious?
He's going to go with the
or-
Schmishmortion, isn't
The
he?
Schmishmortion, the
It's
Schmishmortion clinic.
not- well, I mean, I want
to get your opinion on it.
I
Yeah.
had some deep thoughts about it. And so the one thing I was trying to do was to see if I can put myself in the opposition, because I'm already disagreeing with the whole law and everything. I'm already against all the BS that they're putting out.
Okay, wait. Before we dive into it, just for whoever hasn't picked up on it,
Whoever
yet,
lives under a rock.
we're talking about all these anti-abortion bills that are passing on the Bible Belt. And I don't know if a lot of people are familiar with the Bible Belt, but it's in that Midwest. No, I'm sorry,
It starts from Florida and goes up to
not Midwest. Yeah, whatever that area is.
not Utah.
It goes through
I don't know enough.
to North Dakota, right?
Yeah, it goes.
From
Yeah, it
Florida
goes
to North
through all
Dakota?
that. It
It's like a
goes-
big shape.
It's all those southern states.
Yeah,
a
southern
bunch of the
states.
southern states. Some of the lower, like it goes through
Yeah,
Tennessee.
Oklahoma,
it goes, yeah,
Part of like
Tennessee
the Confederate
goes through-
bloodline.
yeah,
for
yeah.
the most part.
Similar, very.
Yeah.
There, I tell you that if you overlaid the maps together, they'd
Mhm.
probably be all within that same thing. And we're talking about the anti-abortion bills
In Alabama.
and all the things that are happening in that area. Like,
Mhm.
it's happening in Ohio. It's happening in Alabama,
Mhm.
in Georgia.
Mhm.
Georgia.
Yeah. So it's happening a lot. Okay, now let's get into it.
And
Just
it turns
listen
out
to
that
it.
there are plenty of other countries that have
Oh, of course.
the law just as strict or even stricter
Mhm.
than Alabama, which is crazy because people are thinking, Alabama is like almost like the center of the whole world decision. And it turns out there's places that have some really strict anti-abortion laws in other countries.
Here's the thing about that. Here's my opinion on that. It's
Religion
that
based?
in
Oh.
other countries it's almost expected depending on what region you're in. Yeah, because of the region, because of the religion,
Mhm.
so on and so forth.
Yeah,
We'd like to think that here in the United States,
it's all
we're
yeah.
very lax and a very open country.
Mhm.
As far as like restricting what the citizens,
Mhm.
what the citizen can do.
Right.
We'd like to think that. So if we're able to criticize tyrannical countries or
Mhm.
socialists or whatever, things that we oppose, and then we end up doing similar or passing bills that are similar to what the countries we criticize are,
Right.
then what's the difference?
Yeah, exactly.
And are
That's
we
what people
really
say.
free as Americans?
Right.
Do we really have the freedoms that, you know, our Constitution initially told us that we did?
Which we've changed a lot. The
Yeah,
Constitution was never set in stone.
We've amended
Yeah.
so many things.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. And so my opinion is, obviously I don't agree with it. And the very, 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 very sad part is because of my lack of care or interest. Like, if you say you have control over your body, great. If you want somebody else to have control of your body, I'm not going to step forward for that either. Some people say, "Ooh, you should help someone out who thinks that, you know, if there's someone there who thinks that they want to have somebody else control their whole body and thoughts and stuff like that, you should help that person go against it." But for me, I'm like, that's their choice. That's their choice for both situations. And trying to get to that is leading me to try and get to understand the whole reason why this was put out in the first place. And that's the only thing I can try to do to get my lack of interest involved. And I was very curious about what possible scenario could they even think of even attempting to bring out this law in the first place. And I was trying to do my whole Infinity War Doctor Strange shit, where I was trying to figure out what scenario.
All the 14 million scenarios.
Yeah. And the only one I can possibly conceive to think of is that if I was a parent and my underage kids were banging each other out, and they just thought that getting an abortion was an easy reset on life, I would try and find some way to make them, not punish them, but like scare them, almost like scare them into using condoms or something like that. Again, this is so far-fetched. I'm just trying to find something. But if I'm trying to let my son and daughter know, hey, you know, first of all, don't even have sex. And then second, if you're going to attempt to, at least, you know, protect yourself, because there's not just other diseases, but there's a kid can pop out of you when you have sex. So, or at least when you complete your, I mean, you can have sex and it comes out, but you know, when sperm comes out, anyway, the point is that, I was thinking that, is it possible that they're trying to use it as a method of, preventing a whole bunch of younglings from banging each other out with no protection?
They're definitely trying to do that, but
Yeah.
what that's telling me is saying, if you get pregnant and you try to get an abortion, you're going to go to jail.
Yeah.
And it's going to ruin your life.
Yeah. A kid would kind of ruin your life too, wouldn't it?
But exactly. So don't have an abortion.
Just have the kid
And just-
get your
And
life.
just give up the kid. Like, and another part of me is saying the government wants everyone to have the kids, because that just means
Soldiers.
they get to put another get to put another bond on them.
Mm-hmm.
You know
Oh,
what I
that's
mean?
right. The bonds. You know, when you're born, you're like, you're put on like you owe money.
Yeah,
or
that's
something
what
like
your
that. I
social
forgot.
security
Yeah.
number is.
Trippy.
That's your bank account,
Yeah.
apparently.
Yeah.
And
So
we're not going to dive too much into
no,
it,
yeah,
but
yeah.
but that's one of my theories. Like, fuck it, let all these black babies and Latino parents and that can't afford abortions
yeah,
have their kids. And then
That's
they're just going to go into
right.
we're gonna pay for them, and they're gonna get us more money.
And you
Because,
guys all
know?
saw that George Carlin thing I sent you, right?
Yeah,
About
yeah.
about how they care about you when you're a fetus, but when you're born, they don't give a goddamn who you
Yeah,
are.
they don't. And it's been happening for years. And if prior to this, if you didn't think there was a war against women, not just women, but minority women as well,
Mm-hmm.
this is fucking evidence like a motherfucker.
And that is something interesting you brought up. So they would want you to not have an abortion, but when it comes to minorities, especially Hispanic and Black, they don't want babies being born at all in the United States. Right? Isn't that like a thing that they were like
No.
against
No, they're
people
saying
coming over and birthing babies here.
Oh
and
yeah,
then,
yeah, yeah.
And then come back.
So that's another one. It's called birthright,
Birthright,
citizenship,
something like that. Yeah.
It's so basically they're saying that if your parent is an illegal, undocumented immigrant, an illegal immigrant, they're basically saying that if your parent is one of these people and they have a child and they have you in this country, you will no longer have the right to be a citizen because your parents were undocumented.
But don't get that abortion or it'll take you to jail and all this other stuff.
And then we'll have you in jail. You'll be the taxpayers will be paying for you to be in jail, and your child will be in the system, and the taxpayers will be able to be paying for your child.
Yep.
Like it's.
And the one thing I'm really against, I really hate it especially when I find out about this information about the detailed ramifications. And I definitely let Philly Tuck someone here his opinion too, but is the whole situation about rape. Like if a 15, 13, whatever year old girl gets raped under this law, it's pretty much like they have to
have the baby.
And I was like, are you out of your fucking mind?
Nuts.
What?
I'll fucking take my kid. Well,
I mean, yeah.
Well, here's the thing, too.
You also
Mexico has these super strict laws. So even though they do abortions over there, they're definitely illegal abortions.
Yeah.
So you run the risk either way. Like,
that was nuts. So I never understood how they could allow that, especially the females that voted all this stuff in and agree with it and support it. Like what? It's like, talk to your own. Like what's going on?
We shouldn't even be having this conversation. That's how ridiculous this is. Like, we shouldn't be deciding what women are doing with their bodies. Like, that is not our decision to make. That is the woman's decision to make because they run the most risk. So they have every right to decide what's going to happen with their bodies. And the fact that us as men feel entitled to an opinion, like, is ridiculous. It's so fucking ridiculous to me. Absolutely ridiculous.
At this current time in society, people are having kids less and less, actually. Millennials and the younger generation not only don't want to own any property, they don't want to have cars. They don't want all the things that have sustained the economy for so long, including children and forcing parents to have jobs instead of being business owners and traveling the world and spending money anywhere else but America. So there is likely some degree of trying to control and keep people from doing certain things that would be more beneficial to them, because it's clear that if you can't afford to raise a child, chances are if you can afford to prevent that from happening, that you should probably take that just as a smart financial decision. And come to think of the hardships you may incur upon the child. I mean, I'm one of 18 siblings.
That's true.
You know, I have lived without my parents, either of them. One of them was an illegal immigrant who eventually became a citizen, and another a victim of the same life that I ended up living. So there are things to be considered in terms of, like Joe said, and like you guys are talking, it's ridiculous if someone gets raped and then they can go to jail for having an abortion. Now,
having been the victim.
Having been the victim, right? And so, as much as I despise anyone trying like putting themselves in the victim mentality, being an actual victim is a real thing. And they should not be penalized for anything
at all.
Right.
Period.
Now that being said, I do strongly believe that there is some government intervention. I mean, population control is not a mystery. It's not some fantastical hypothesis. It's probable to a high degree that it's a real thing. And also to place more hardship upon lower economic classes by forcing them to keep their offspring would only keep them further in debt and further in control. And so it's likely it's just so overt and in our face now, the way it's always been, except now we're really aware of it. And the problem is that even though we're aware of it, how many of us have the knowledge and know how to actually go up and change it?
And that's what I've been saying for a while. What is it going to take for U.S. citizens to really do something about something. I kid you not. I think we're just subject to just take it anywhere and everywhere. I really think
we're complacent.
They can probably bring back slavery and it'll just slow right back in. Nobody would. There won't be like this huge revolution. No, you're not going to do it. No, you're not going.
I'm confident there's some form of slavery still occurring.
So I mean, sometimes they say there's a music industry.
I'm gonna tell you right now.
Rap.
It's called the NFL draft.
Yeah.
The NBA draft.
Yeah.
I mean, look at what we're doing with these people. They're saying 7'4", 200 and such pounds, can do this, this, and this. Who wants him?
Pretty much.
Trade him.
Yeah.
You have purchased this guy. You have purchased his contract.
Yeah.
Okay, he's no good to us anymore. He's been used up.
Yeah.
Who wants to get his contract, his max veteran contract? Well, he's not that good anymore, but I could put him on my bench.
Like, see all those white people on the bottom floor, on the first, second, third row.
And same with artists. Same with artists. Well,
anything
like,
Coliseum based.
Yeah,
I mean,
or entertainment based, or just.
What do you mean Coliseum?
I think you meant arena, like the
arena.
gladiators, like Roman gladiators.
Well, I think with the music industry, it's happening, but it's not as bad because there are plenty of artists that are independent from
I think it's a little easier to be independent in music than it is in
with sports. It's like there's a monopoly on sports. Like there's a monopoly on the NBA, on the NFL, and any little company that tries to come up and do something eventually.
Right.
Dissipates.
But something that affects the everyday citizen, I just don't know what that is to get people enough to be what I would think is very patriotic and true American, like 1776 type shit, where we're all meeting up at the local pub talking about, some sort of cool fight back against the system thing. I really don't think we'll do that. Man.
It comes back to education.
Even that, I think a lot of people know, but I still don't think a lot of people are going to really
it's
physically
not,
do
and this is why, and I think I've stated this before on the podcast. The United States of America, as it is, it's almost impossible for an insurrection or insurgency to happen because of the scale of this country, how big this country is, that you would have to get everyone to unanimously agree. Sorry,
I don't mean to laugh at that.
Unanimously agree on actually making a change, and we have too many opinions, too many factors.
Thoughts,
the West,
and to add to that, our social media is constantly promoting any content that will pit us against each other.
We were just having a conversation about that earlier.
To make the insurgency or insurrection even harder.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Instagram just changed their algorithm.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
To where now it's doing exactly the same thing Facebook does.
You literally, when you vote, you literally see a map of red and blue states,
pretty much,
and then there, these other sprinkles. Little sprinkles of other factions, but it's literally red and blue, and a lot of times it comes to a 50-50 or a 48. 48-52 or
ideology warfare.
It's like right there. It's the bipartisan machine that prevents us from actually agreeing and say, look, we're all unhappy. Let's fucking change this. That's not going to happen in these states. There will be, I've said it before, there will be little uprisings here and there, and they'll be quailed, and somebody will get kind of what they want a little bit and say, okay, now you're happy. Okay, we made that change. That's all. It's going to happen because that's the way that this country has been
breeded. What's the word, Philly, we're looking for?
Not founded, but it's been bred to.
Developed. Bread. We're talking about toast earlier, so bread. Yeah.
That was deep. All right.
Yeah, how we rolling?
There's definitely a lot of factors at play, and it's a zooming out without it's a way of having what we just did is a way of having a discussion about a subject, and we started zoomed in and zoomed out, and we can zoom back in and make it clear that this in no way is trying to belittle the fact that this shit is actually happening. Again, we're reiterating it and bringing it back up to the discussion to say how important it is that this is happening, and then also trying to then zoom out and provide some perspective to aid the decision making for you to have an informed opinion based on however you decide it's going to go as a listener. It's important that we're able to have a discussion, no one get upset, and it sounded like we all had a very similar opinion here. It would be really interesting to see if someone had a different opinion, but then at the same time, that would also create a charged emotional environment.
It may. Well, with us, I don't think there might be some. I don't think as much because how we are. If there was somebody over there who's like probably super conservative from the Bible Belt and was like,
honestly, I don't even give a fuck about the other opinion. I honestly don't. I'm biased as fuck on this. Like, I wouldn't even care about an opposing opinion, because to me, there shouldn't be. There is no need for an opposing opinion here.
And that
absolutely not.
Right.
Yeah, pretty much. And your first thing when you said I don't, when you said I don't care, it's like that's why I feel too. Like, shit.
I don't care because
it shouldn't.
Because there shouldn't even be a question about what this is.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
That's why I don't care about another opinion. The only fact here is that we don't have the right to decide for a woman what she wants to do. And if it's a minority, the only other person who has the right to decide what that child needs to do is the mother of that child.
Was that for all? Wait, minority?
Huh?
It says something about the minority.
I think
I lost you.
Regardless, okay, no, it has to be woman related. If it's woman related, it has to be a woman that makes the decision.
Yeah.
If it's about the body,
and if it's a minor who gets impregnated.
Oh,
by
minor.
any means,
Oh, okay. They said minority.
No,
Sorry.
if it's a minor who gets impregnated by whatever, the only one who should have the opinion about what has to be done with that minor's child
is the mother of that child.
Is the mother of that child.
Okay, yeah. Sorry. Okay, yeah.
And that's a fucking fact. And if they don't have a mother, and if it's a father, or if they're in the system, well, then that's when the system maybe has the not right, but has the authority to make that decision.
If there's no parent or guardian.
Correct.
Yeah.
But
that's agreed.
As far as a woman having the right, they have every fucking right, and the government has no right to say whether an adult woman can or cannot have an abortion.
You have to remember, for years, China, as the government, has taken a stance and forced people to have just one kid per household. And that there's been occasions where
they had
another one, and China just straight up forced them to kill their child, or the parents would kill their child anyways, like just to make sure.
So how come a lot of us don't talk about that? Who are like, hey, Alabama, what the fuck's going on? When over in China, they're having that one kid rule,
right?
And
no, it's like that's what I'm saying is what I think is happening in that area, and this is a really, really big uninformed hypothesis, but my instinct and intuition is telling me that, based on my interactions, I once was so when I was in New York, I went out to a bar with a buddy of mine. We ran into some people who actually come from the Bible Belt area, and he actually has a nonprofit that encourages traveling to big cities like New York and Los Angeles
to have an abortion.
No, meet with people who are from there, locals, and to invite them for an all expense paid trip to go out into that area to sort of help introduce culture into that area, because they have zero experience with what it's like to be in a melting pot like Los Angeles or New York or any other major metropolis areas. He said, you don't realize how easily, especially, he's like, someone with you is charismatic. You can sing. You can fucking go to a karaoke a bar with them and show them how like cool it could be. Or people, they might be like, that little brown boy can sing. You know what I mean? Whatever the case is. Yeah. But that's a start.
And have a different and develop a different.
Because that's what it is. They have no proximity, right? They probably don't know what's happening in China. And the fact that the government has totally taken complete control of people's lives like that.
Not so much the people that are already in there, but I mean, like, for instance, like Joe. you knew about that information about China, and
Yes.
so if that's true, how is there a reason why there's no major outcry saying, "Hey, China, women have the right to"?
There are. I mean,
Oh.
there are organizations like the
Well, I just meant here I don't see a lot of people here in America saying they
Because-
usually just focus on Alabama and what happened there, but
most
not
Americans don't have a foreign policy.
Oh, okay.
We don't,
as individuals.
as individuals. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, no, but there are organizations who actively are
In America or in China?
Yeah,
Like the
here.
United
Oh.
Nations is.
Well, I meant like that are more like, I don't know, like on a college campus.
I mean-
But
there's
see, here's the other thing. There are parameters, like say the UN.
Uh-huh.
All the countries that are in the UN follow certain criteria, but they're not all necessarily democratic. So like say for example,
a
China.
communist country
yeah.
can come together with a
As long as
capitalist country.
as
and
long as you follow certain human being parameters, then,
Yeah.
you
then
can
do
govern
what
your
you gotta
nation
do.
however
Okay.
you want to.
I just
you
thought
know?
that the same people that would say the women have the right for Alabama, they would say the same thing for China.
They
But-
do.
But I
There
haven't
are
seen
people
it.
who
I
do.
haven't seen it. But you're saying there are.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there
okay,
definitely are. There
okay.
definitely are.
Okay.
And I mean, horrible shit happens around the country all the time.
Yeah, of course.
And
and you're talking about a black
Yeah.
guy over here.
well, yeah, but that's domestic more than anything.
Okay.
But and there are plenty of organizations who talk about it.
Yeah.
If you're not seeing it on social media, it's because you're not, for whatever, your data doesn't bring you that information
Well,
because you haven't actively looked for those things yourself. But
Yeah.
I guarantee you, if you started looking up organizations and
Yeah.
things, that you would start seeing a lot more of that stuff because
I'm pretty sure.
You know,
I just
the whole data.
thought that
and the way these social media.
of course. For example, one person that mentioned something about the Alabama stuff was on DL Hughley's page or his post.
Mhm.
And that's what I'm saying. Like I would see tons of outcry because it's just recently happened.
Mhm.
But the same people that I see with the outcry of the craziness of Alabama, I haven't seen any outcry about things that are happening in China, which
It
is
happened years ago.
and it happened
bro.
years ago. That's what I'm
But
saying. Like I don't remember.
Again, I bet if you started looking for it
For-
on Facebook,
but
if
those-
you actively looked for it, you would
Yeah.
start seeing it.
But not from the same people. I would see it from new people,
Well,
from
yeah.
other
Again,
people.
because if
From
the same
the-
people
yeah.
aren't looking for that, it's happening to them. It's happening to them.
And that's what I'm saying.
currently.
Like those same people, I don't see a consistency of outcry. That's what I'm saying.
Because it's like Method Man said, man. It doesn't matter till it's your blood.
Well, I just know.
True.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I know. Yeah, that's what.
Then you feel
Because I know you're right, and I know it's out there. Yes, based on what Philly's talking, that's what I'm trying to get at. It's like that. I still am an opponent of that's super unfair. We should
Yeah,
actually try and branch out instead of, since it's happening to me, I got to care about it. No, it's happening to everybody around you.
like imagine what it would be like if when you lived in the United States, no matter what state you were in, there was a required minimum of 10 hours a month where you went and participated in local government. Can you imagine the difference?
You said 10 hours? I
10
would say
hours, 10 hours a month.
a month. I would okay. So I was gonna say you can probably even like 3-4 hours. I bet you'll see some difference.
Yeah. Even just 1 hour a month.
Yeah, like if
It was a required,
yeah.
like if
one,
you,
yeah,
just like instead of jury duty,
Yeah.
yeah.
they had you participate in local government.
Yeah.
Believe me, there would be a lot less need for a jury.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that.
If community service was more
Local government.
local government based,
Instead of
there
picking
would
up trash.
definitely be a difference.
Yeah.
But why would anyone want to do that?
yeah.
That would
Yeah.
disrupt power way too much.
But that would also allow the community to get more involved with local politics.
It would. Yeah.
Like,
Absolutely.
So what does that say about us?
For example,
And
I don't know a local officer.
I don't know.
I want to know a local officer.
I only have one congressman from my or the neighborhood I was trying to get access to a theater to run a show, and that's about it. That's the
Right.
only time I researched to contact somebody like that.
I have Gil Cedillo down the street from here, and never once has he ever walked by and just knocked on the door and been like, you know what, I'm down the street, and I'm your local representative. I just wanted to say hi, hello, and let you know I'm here.
Dude, that Republican representative that was when we were doing our collabo meeting in the coffee shop, she sat right down next to us with the big old banner that said, like, vote for me. No converse, didn't even know we existed.
Because they're chasing the dollars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they don't get
Everybody is, right? Isn't that what America is all about?
Dude, even a nonprofit organization needs to run on some money, even if everyone works for free.
Right. You need to make,
And again, it comes back to education, man. Nobody teaches
education, my
Nobody teaches anyone how to make a fucking dollar in school. They
No,
teach
they don't do that.
everyone how to take orders from the people who make the dollars.
Now, what would happen if the different subjects you learned in school were actually taught with some relevance?
Yeah, they incorporate it.
If they incorporated,
yes.
Now there's a conversation Phil and I were having. You weren't part of it because
I know what I'm going to say about it just to show you.
But
full of shit.
Keenan really wants to get this point out.
No, because I know what you're talking about, and I completely agree with it.
If you're
but there's a
teaching
subject already
history,
doing it. You don't even know because you guys don't even care. Nobody cares about it.
Enlighten us.
Enlighten us.
It's math. Yeah, that's right. All those word problems all you kids hated in high school and fucking shit. Those had real world applications.
No. But you're jumping ahead. That's not the point I was trying to
politics,
get across.
Right?
No, that's not the point I was trying to get across. The point I'm trying to get across is if you're teaching something, say for example, high school, because it's the perfect transition from adolescence to adulthood, right? So all these subjects that you learn in high school, if you were actually to teach them how you would teach in a real world scenario. So if you're teaching math and you're teaching physics, say for example, no, maybe not. Oh yeah, physics. Let's say physics.
They have word problems.
If you're teaching physics, why don't you apply it to NASCAR?
They do.
Not actively in high school. They don't actively apply it that way.
I'll tell you how they apply it, but it's so fucking boring. Nobody gives a shit.
But that's what I'm saying. Well, start teaching to what would actually interest somebody. So say for example,
we don't know
coding.
One kid can
coding.
be interested in.
Let's say, look, okay, kids, today we're going to talk about Instagram.
Yeah.
You're in a coding class or in a any one of those. So we talk about Instagram or history. Okay, today we're going to learn about hip hop history and this and that. So kids can start getting an understanding to something that's going to be relevant to them.
Coding is definitely a particular category. History is a very broad one, like math and physics. But again, you're talking about 30 something kids in your class, and each one is not going to be interested in the same thing.
They don't have to be. But you have a school year to teach these kids.
Well, yeah, in that current school, and I'm not disagreeing. I'm just saying just trying to be opposition here. In that school year, there's so much information, so much information. There's no possible way that they could find that general interest and still cover stuff that technically is supposed to be taught.
Let's teach them about the founding fathers, not too much about slavery. Let's teach them about U.S. government, but only the white part, and maybe we'll toss in Malcolm X and Martin Luther King. Maybe we'll talk about them too. You know, if you're lucky enough, you get a Latino history teacher that's going to teach you some Mexican history as well.
Yeah. Like it's crazy. But even that, there's so much. There's a whole bunch involved in different categories. You can't fit everything, especially for high school. You can't fit everything.
I'm not saying fit everything. I'm saying.
But you're saying to fit the ones.
Try little things here and there if you're teaching your student about something.
Well, see, I mean, like, say for instance, instead of teaching about the founding fathers, they can have a whole subject on the Native American population. But that's still that information is still so broad and so much that you still can't get a guarantee that these students would even pay attention to that. I think you have to first find out. If you first find out what interests them, and you find out what interests them, I'm just gonna say you're gonna cut out history somewhere. You're going to cut out information mathematics somewhere because they have to find that out in a later course or more
I
specified
just don't think.
course.
I think our history has
It's messed up. There's
so
a lot of
much variety.
misinformation. Yeah.
exactly that.
Yeah.
That we don't necessarily have to teach kids about. I mean, whatever the curriculum is today, or what the curriculum was when we were in school. Like,
Right.
Because it was bullshit. There's
Yeah.
I
don't remember any of that stuff.
I remember a couple things, but
Yeah.
it's like it was irrelevant because I've never again used it in my life. So
And that's what they say about math too.
no, because math is different. Math is probably one of the few subjects that apply to you.
It's the
almost
universal
every day.
language.
It is. It is a universal language. I was never dissing math. Math is definitely one of those subjects that is just it.
It's
It
cool.
is what it is.
I just run into
fact.
I run into a few people from time to time who
But-
say that same thing for physics, math, and history, and I think English and something else was the only ones that they don't complain about or say that you don't use every day. But that's definitely a statement. The thing is, I guess first find out what is a relevant piece of knowledge for high school students.
But it would be dope, like if every day or
something different.
every week you studied something different. That's
Well,
what I'm saying. Don't strictly focus on one thing,
Okay.
but at least teach your students about everything. Don't follow the curriculum that the government has given
Mhm.
you. Say, look, guys, we're not going to do this. We're going to do this. And I'm going to come up with something that you guys are really going to like. Like,
Yeah.
I'll teach you this week. I'm going to teach you about, music history. I'm not going to get into depth on music theory or anything, but I'll give you some history. Like, where
Now-
some people think music started and things like that. Or, okay, this week we're going to talk about U.S. government and how about the founding fathers. So you do, but you just don't dig deeper than you really need to because your students aren't going to remember the shit.
And do you think that with teaching, let's say it was every week instead of every day,
Mhm.
every week something was different and new, do you think would retain anything of it after 3-4 months in? Because it's
think
always
so.
changing.
I think so because there are key points in classes that I used to take that I remembered more than others.
And I was complete opposite. A lot of the stuff had to be repeated multiple times for me.
I wanna jump in on this, but
Yeah.
from a different position.
Yeah.
What I think I would encourage in education today is a push to more, not necessarily practical, but more commerce.
You mean trade?
Less on trade and more on commerce. And what I mean by that is, if you are teaching, let's say you guys discussed history, teach the student to be a historian by providing what's called a case study. So when you say, we're going to review the founding fathers, but not so that you learn about them, but so that you understand why a historian chose to create a case study for the founding fathers is what should be part of our history. And so you start to develop a framework within the student's mind of what a case study is. And then your homework as individuals in this class is to build a case study of what could be recorded history, because the point of history is to understand why history is created, why it's recorded. And so then once you can personally create your own, if your project is going to be on hip hop, fine, whatever. Someone else's project may be on traditional Indian dance, whatever it's going to be, you come back and you present your project, and everyone in the class will be able to benefit from the variety of experiences.
Research.
But on top of that, you'll now be able to look at the case study of the founding fathers and understand it from a different perspective and say, oh, and that's why history is important. The same thing can be done with mathematics and physics, right? Let's say physics. You could study, if you wanted, again, create a case study for why physics is physics, and then allow students to use skateboarding as part of their project, if that's what it is, or driving using bicycles, anything that isn't dangerous, obviously, right? Mathematics.
We can blow something up.
Mathematics. We can talk about, you start getting to like calculus and how that relates to cell phones. And this is something you use every day. And then you start wondering, like, well, all in an effort to help them understand how it's going to relate to society when they get out. The same thing can be, because a historian can then become a consultant for documentary filmmakers, or like, it's about teaching you to make a dollar beyond just oh, I can fix a lock or change the piping on the plumbing.
I can do that, sir.
Yeah,
All
no.
Well, yeah.
I'm not dissing the handyman skills. I'm
Yeah.
saying that we shouldn't douse people's dreams. We should just reflect on how education is being presented, because as I grow more and more as an entrepreneur,
Mhm.
I can see the difference in terms of what I was taught and what I had to learn on my own. And
It's-
there's an entirely different perspective once you really start to get a handle on what's called value proposition design
Mhm.
and business models and case studies for business models. When you start looking at education from that perspective, you can really get the children to engage on the material by helping them continue to create the education and make them co-creators of the education as opposed to just listeners of the education.
I'm with you.
What about this as a proposition? In the sense that, what if instead of high school you're learning all these multiple subjects, that it caters towards the subject the student is interested in? So if I'm interested in math and physics, I don't have to go through a shit ton of English,
Here's the thing.
history, government.
The same way that colleges make you get an AA, which is,
BS.
you know, all the fucking, yeah. They're basically saying everything you learned in college, just prove it to us that you did learn it. Here, get this, associates. And then that'll let us know that you have a general understanding about life.
Sounds like somebody tried to get an associate's.
No, I didn't. But
Okay.
what my thing is, like, the same way that the college it makes you do that, why not?
For high school?
It should know. It should isn't that what the SAT is? So why are you getting your associates when you already did that?
Oh, I don't know anything about that because I went for the bachelor's. So
Yeah, but what I'm saying is to get your associates, you're taking a bunch of classes
Mhm.
that are just next level to what you had already done in high school. But why don't you just do them in high school? Period. Just you have 4
Yeah,
years
that's
to
weird.
already do it.
You want to know something really
So then when you
trippy?
get into college, you just go and do what you want. You don't
Yeah.
have to waste another 2 years in a community
I
college
mean, that's
or,
obviously
or
a ploy for the
university.
colleges to make
Sure.
money.
Yeah. You shouldn't have to go another 2 years before you can actually say, look, this is what I'm going to do. Like,
Yeah.
that's
although-
ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, I wound up repeating all of my high school math and physics in college.
But that's what I'm talking about. Like,
But I found out I didn't have to because when my paperwork on the EAT or the SAT, whatever, showed that I was exempt from all that. But I didn't know that. And for some reason, I found this document in a stack of papers, and I was 2 years later, and I'm already taking calculus and all that stuff. And I look at it, and it's like, holy shit, I was exempt. I didn't have to take these fucking classes. It was so bad. But
Yeah.
anyway, I think community college is pretty good because for some people, I think it really helps them try and figure.
yeah,
and
but
it's cheaper,
if
way
they
cheaper.
if they did it the right way,
If they
in
did
high
the right
school,
one, yeah.
then why would you need to go through another 2 years of strict like subject matters?
You
Like,
shouldn't have to. If as far as I know, when I went to SF State, the engineering department had this whole curriculum, and it was out of 5 courses per semester, which is crazy. 4 of them would be geared towards your subject. The 5th one would be geared towards a subject of your choosing. Within that sort of overall compass category. So if it was history, I could have picked ancient Roman history or something like that, which I kind of like. So I
Mhm.
could have picked that. I didn't have to pick a government
Right.
US thing. But I'm curious how that is for the associates, because I remember seeing the curriculum for my category and it didn't have it like what you're talking about. It was mainly geared towards engineering.
Okay.
It's new. I'm hearing this new because
So when you went into college, you were able to pick your subject immediately. You didn't have to take any general education classes. So
There-
you didn't have to take English
No,
again. You didn't have
there
to
was
take
GE. There was GE, but it wasn't.
Why?
It was.
If
It wasn't
you
like
did.
a
If
lot.
you did it in high school, then why would you have to do any GE? Period.
Have you seen
Why
me
not
write?
just dive in? No, but
you know I
again,
can't spell for
if
shit.
it was done right
yeah,
in high school, you wouldn't have had to do that again.
I did do it right. I didn't. I mean, I don't know why. I'm a weird
Again,
subject, but I passed.
What I'm
them.
saying is
Yeah.
general ed. Why do you have to do general ed
I don't know why.
if you're fresh out
Yeah.
of high school?
It did
Like,
hold me back quite a bit.
you know,
Yeah.
you're fresh out of high school, so now you gotta waste another couple of semesters doing general education
Mhm.
shit.
Yep.
You know,
I aced most of them
when
too
you-
because I knew what I was doing.
exactly when you could go straight into what you already want to do, like
Now,
right
technically-
out the gate.
I want to say one. I might have heard this from one student, but I remember one student did something in the lines of they took all their core classes and just said fuck it to the GE stuff, and then left college and got this like badass job and all that stuff. Didn't even go for the BS side because you can't. In order for you to get your, that little paper that says you, like you said, grad, you got your BS, you got your AA, you have to pass the G and then sign the paper. But they figured out a way around that somehow. I don't know.
Yeah, you can test out of shit.
I mean, a degree doesn't mean
it
shit
costs
anymore,
money, but yeah, you can test that. And again, this is why I was just making the case for if we were to emphasize education in the way I suggested earlier, chances are that kids' self-awareness would grow in that. Mm-hmm. And at the same time, they'd be building skills that allow them to then generate income generating opportunities as early as possible. And that would definitely influence their decisions moving forward into college.
I think so. But yeah, I mean, it's all theory based until we actually try it.
I'm very close in my industry. I think I'm close enough to have enough experience to where if there was a college or university for what I do, I'd have a master's already.
It would be you'll be doing theater.
Undoubtedly, yeah. I'd already have a master's. Whatever it is, I'm pretty sure I have enough experience.
I think stagecraft and scenery is what it's called, something like that. Theater arts.
But that's not my only focus. I take care of a lot of other elements that
business management.
That have nothing to do with.
Oh, so you'd be a double major.
Probably. Shit.
Ooh, Joe. Drinking his rum.
Big guy with the rum. African rum from Africa.
Yes, my brother
by the way,
went to Africa.
Shout out to Philip Duncan, huh? And Keenan Duncan for bringing it through.
Run away.
So my brother, his honeymoon was in Africa. I think it was his wife's choice. And he went to South Africa, Madagascar, and a bunch of other places too. Yeah, I really need to get out of fucking Los Angeles. I haven't been anywhere. I even have a passport. Have you? God damn.
It's delicious, by the way.
Have you too?
It's different. It's a little different. It's like a mix of
I've never left
vodka
the
and
country.
rum. So
none of you left the country before?
Joe has left
really?
the country.
You've been to Europe or something like that?
I have.
Damn. Well, I mean, wait, does Mexico count? I mean, I know it's right there, but
wow, Keenan, that was the most racist shit you've ever said, Keenan.
Fucking racist. Does Mexico count?
I have to get something racist
Everybody
out there.
knows Mexico doesn't count.
Joe, you surprised me on that one.
Does Mexico count?
You know you're right about it.
I know.
I just feel like because it's I think it's pretty much just a part of America. I really, it's right there.
Well, it is.
It's attached
part
to
of the
us.
Americas.
I mean, it's more, I don't know. Instead of like going to an Africa, Australia, or Japan or Russia, like you have to really travel. That's what I feel like is out of the country. I'm
gonna get a little map of the world and just like put a bunch of pins on where I've been.
Oh, because you've been to a lot of places. You've been like Brazil.
I haven't been to Brazil.
Oh, okay.
If you guys got an opportunity to speak to high school students in lower economic areas across I know I've seen you do it, or even elementary kids and shit like that. Like,
I think I've done it once.
And you got a chance to create a presentation.
Mm-hmm.
What would you do it on? Anyone you can take it first.
Biasly, I would do it on math and physics, mostly physics, because I'm an engineer, so I would do it on engineering.
I've done it in my industry.
Yeah,
probably. Because I actually did. I made
killing that shit too.
I made it fun. Built rockets.
Did they bring people like that in for high school?
They did.
Yeah.
They didn't do that for me, man.
No.
It could also be that.
No, I don't remember.
Not having a good connection.
I don't know. I don't remember ever.
Like a career day
part of
thing?
A career day. I don't. Oh, actually, did in elementary school? Yeah, I remember that.
Elementary school,
uni had one.
Again,
I don't remember that.
Well, the hypothesis being that we attend school enough to actually have been there.
Maybe it was only in AP classes. I don't know. Keenan, elaborate.
No, I remember. There's.
Did you take AP classes, Keenan?
I think one AP. I forgot what it was.
It's like advanced writing composition. But that was it.
Eating dick. No. No, there was definitely I could have swore there was a day where they had people out in their little booths from different companies, and you would go in and you talk to them and stuff like that. And
I
No,
want
no,
to
no,
give.
that's
I
not
want
what
to
I'm
give.
talking about.
I want to give
Wait,
a
what are
high
you
school
talking about?
graduation speech, man.
Wait, what are you guys talking about?
Crazy. I'm talking about a career day where a bunch of different people with different careers come to your class and speak.
No. Yeah, I don't think so.
I remember it happened once in elementary school. It's never happened again since.
I'm trying to think.
I mean, I'm already out of school, but yeah.
Yeah.
I remember it happening once, like in fourth or fifth grade. I can't remember.
And they do that in college too. They'll bring people from companies into classes and tell them about. Usually, they're like recruiters trying to hire
And
people.
usually they bring people like they don't ever bring like Elon Musk should totally be making those trips, man.
Well,
I'm sure he does. I'm sure he makes
He might-
appearances.
He might make a few here and there. Yeah.
Where he recruits new talent moving forward.
He won't recruit new talent, but I mean, shit.
So you would if you got the opportunity, would you?
Yeah, I would. But I for me, to talk about something, I would rather have me. I'm more of a hands-on person. I'd rather them do something like get them involved in something that's more related to
a building project.
Yeah, but related to real life scenarios and stuff like that. Here's how you can
a treehouse
or a booby trap for a burglar, something, you know.
And then you call your mom and tell her you're home alone. And then you trick the burglars, and then you burn their hair off,
or to show them what happens when you eat Tide Pods or something like that. Like,
oh jeez,
some in the sense
Ken.
to prevent them from doing something stupid, or to show them something stupid that they can do. I like that.
You're not allowed around my kids.
Yeah,
if I ever have
I'm not
them.
allowed around my kids.
I've had the honor of being able to talk to kids, like high school kids, for like career days.
From Accurate?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
I've done it twice.
Did you mention?
Look at Keenan. He wants credit.
No, I
bro.
didn't give you credit, Keenan.
Damn it.
But I think it's a dope. Well, to me, it was a dope feeling to be able to tell kids like, yo, because one of my shticks is that I let the kids know, look, you don't necessarily need to know what you want to be out the gate. Like, you don't like once you graduated high school, and I'm clear. I'm like, yo, I mean, I'm not saying that education is bad or furthering your education, but you don't necessarily need to continue your education to land somewhere, that's gonna.
Did the teachers try to stop you when you said something like that? No?
Actually, the teacher was like nodding at me.
Oh,
like,
nice.
yo,
Okay,
like,
cool.
Yeah.
That's good.
Like, and it was basically like, look, I didn't go to college. I don't have any degrees. I don't have anything. Up to a certain amount of time, I was doing my thing, doing, just being myself, doing what I wanted to do.
Doing
of
drugs.
course. Yeah. I wasn't going to say that, but
girls have boyfriends.
But I told them, look, you could be, you don't necessarily have to decide immediately, like, and you don't have to have an education. Like, you don't have to have a degree in something to have a success, to be successful.
educated.
Yeah. to be successful, to be this and that. All you got to do is work hard, find something that you like to do that, work hard, and you're going to reap the benefits.
Pretty much.
It was dope because these kids were like, what? Like, I was legit like, yo, I was legit the dude that was like, fuck the bullshit. I'm not going to sugarcoat shit for you guys. It's fucking tough sometimes. And I was legit like talking like that. And the teacher was like, all right.
Oh, wait.
I'm
So
fucking with it. Yeah.
But you could you could say fucking shit.
I was cussing like openly.
Oh,
and
really?
the teacher was like not even tripping because what they did.
Because they're high school kids.
Yeah. What they did was like they would give me a new class every 15 minutes.
Yeah.
So they would rotate they would rotate in and out of the class. So every time I would get a new class and I,
Start over.
Okay.
And it was crazy.
You got to work on your pitch, huh?
Yeah, no, I did. The first one was kind of like a little, rocky,
Yeah,
and then
PG.
I got into it, and by the last one, I was like, "Yo, check shit out, kid. Like, I'm not gonna give y'all no bullshit. If you decide you don't want to go to college or you haven't been accepted
fuck
somewhere
that.
or anything like that, I was like, it's not
Right.
over.
Yeah.
Trust me, it's not over.
So
Like,
you're the hip hop preacher.
they
You're
were
Eric
like, yo,
Holder.
that's sick. Yo,
Yeah.
yo. And then I started showing them the shit that I do because like they do like a projector and then you could like, put image.
Okay.
So I started showing
Show
them
them
like all
Coachella and
these
stuff.
stages, all
Yeah.
the bullshit that I've done. And they're like, yo, that's dope. I was like, man,
It
I'm
might
not
work
saying
for
that it's
you.
dope. I'm not saying that you're going to meet like a gang of people, but I'm saying it's an option too. Like, you know, if you decide you don't want to do it, and who knows what this leads to, you know, you might be somewhere and you might go to a club afterwards and the artist that played at that festival is there and they see you do a karaoke bit, you know, and you don't know, but at least you're around that environment.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Absolutely.
Was there one funny topic you wanted to talk about?
Damn.
That you saw in the Trellos?
Are you saying we're looking grim?
Did you just see Drake? Sorry.
Yeah, Drake is fucking.
Say something to someone else?
Oh, there he is. There's
to
Drake.
Giannis. Look. I think
he
he's
the
wearing
coach?
makeup. No.
Wait, who?
He's from Toronto.
Are we written for Milwaukee or written for the Raptors?
It's up to you. I don't care who.
Sorry,
okay.
I didn't mean to distract us.
Okay, so Drake is a hood hopper. His Toronto. He's from Toronto. So what's happening right now is that since they're in the finals here, the Eastern Conference Finals, he's all up in there because he's from there, and he has to have it. It's so irritating watching him because he's so opinionated, and he'll talk to players and he'll talk to refs like he has something to do with this shit. And it's like somebody needs to fucking put him up in the fucking executive booth.
Look,
or something.
he's standing like he's a coach.
Yeah.
Next to the coach.
Yeah. Look.
Hey,
like,
you
it's
don't know.
irritating.
He might actually be investing in the team.
No, but it's irritating. And
Are you
it's
allowed to
irritating.
stand right there? I thought you're supposed to like sit down while if you're in the front row.
He's fucking Drake. He can do whatever the fuck he wants.
Oh my god, I can't wait till I get to that level.
Yeah, I can't.
No, but I just thought we can go over like 3 good topics on Trello before, because we got so much on there.
I know. We can talk about Avengers now because everyone in this room has seen it. And the last time we were together, not everyone had seen it.
Joe was
Fucking
waiting.
Cianan.
He waited 3 weeks to talk about it.
Avengers Endgame, god damn, man.
It was good.
God damn.
took
And this
me to
will
go see
segue
it.
into something else that I'm gonna get to. But
Okay.
but Avengers, now that it's happened, now that Disney lifted the spoiler ban,
Pretty much.
shit, man. What were your thoughts on it, Keenan?
On the movie, I thought it was good. I thought it was real good. I have nothing. I mean, it's just all positive. I mean, I had some questions about how things happen and when, but after doing some research and talking to you about it, I was like, oh, okay, cool. That's pretty awesome. I like the way it ended. It sucks I won't be able to see, spoiler alert, Chris Evans or Robert do their thing anymore, but hey, I don't know. I'm looking forward to actually the Spider-Man movie because that looks really good. And
that's actually the last movie in Phase 4.
Oh, okay.
That's supposed to be the last movie because it still touches on what just happened in Endgame.
Yeah,
so
and I liked
they're
it.
considering it.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I laughed at the moments and laughed. I gasped at the moments they're supposed to gasp at. Great music, great intro music. I love that song.
Yeah,
it was done. I was done really well. It made me think like, how come DC isn't putting shit out like this? Like, what's the deal? Something about this movie was so good as a wrap up.
I think DC can't have the same formula as Marvel
because they'll think they're just straight copying.
Yeah, they can't have the same formula anymore. They can't do. They can have an expanded universe, but they can't try to link them all so closely to where it seems seamless. Like they can't do it anymore.
But I like the Dark Knight. I like how it got serious and gritty.
Yes.
And then when I saw Aquaman, it was. I wish Aquaman was serious
Christopher
and
Nolan
gritty.
wasn't a part of it.
But there was one scene in Aquaman that I thought that should have been the whole fucking movie. Is when he jumped out of the boat with the girl and they had all those monsters chasing him, and it was like a 300. They clipped it like 300. Yeah, I was like,
it was dope. It was dope. No, but see, that's what I'm saying. Like, what's happening with DC is that they're better off treating each one of their properties like it's its own thing. And then if for whatever reason they're able to make it work, then you'll make it work. But for right now, just focus on each one of your properties. Like, I don't know if you guys saw Shazam.
No,
Jeez,
I didn't. It was good. Was it dark?
Holy shit. No, it wasn't dark.
But it was good.
Fuck, that was a dope ass movie.
You want to talk about that? I mean, I know
Shazam was super dope.
I haven't seen it. I don't think I will go see
I'd rather
it,
not talk about it.
Okay.
because I think it is a movie that you might want to watch. And since you haven't watched it, I recommend you watching it before I give away any spoilers. But Shazam was dope as fuck. It was
because we're
dope.
about to go see John Wick.
Yep.
But I did like Avengers. I thought it was great. Still, my movie is Doctor Strange, which is rare because it just has a lot of magic, and I'm very into magic and all that stuff. So that's why I like
so
that.
You
prefer Doctor Strange because it did all the cool Inception shit, and they had like magic and
I
spells.
get it.
Okay, but still, which is what was awesome at the very end of Endgame.
When everyone came, yeah,
like,
dude, sick.
shit.
Filthy, what are your thoughts on it?
For Endgame,
Yeah,
man. I'm a big Robert Downey Jr. fan, so
oh man.
I mean, all I want to do is be a billionaire playboy philanthropist.
Yeah,
what a way to go out, though, man.
Perfect way, because it went back to the saying that Captain America said, "You'll never be the one."
He's
to
like,
hold
you're not
down
going to be
line."
the guy that sacrifices it for the greater good,
Uh-huh.
and that's exactly what he did. Fuck he did. He's like, yo,
didn't he give him that look when he was about to put it on?
Like, I'm Iron Man, bitch.
Yeah.
I mean, that's even just the way he at first disagreed with the fact that they were trying to travel through time, and he was like washing dishes and went, you know what, that might work. And then he has to go and talk to his wife, like,
I know that was tough.
I can erase this shit right now, and you and I and our daughter can just continue to live our lives just the way it is. And she's like, yeah, but I mean, you could also save a lot of fucking people. And just showing that sort of humanity and how much weighs in the balance, and even just questioning it because it pushes the boundary on what morals and ethics are.
Yeah. Same with Ronan, Hawkeye.
Because he was trying to sacrifice himself, right?
After he lost his family,
after
he
he
went
lost
rogue.
his family, he went rogue.
Started killing anyone who was even remotely bad. Essentially becoming bad himself.
Yeah.
A vigilante. He was a vigilante.
But I am excited for As Guardians of the Galaxy. That looks fun.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
I hope they keep him fat for at least one more movie. Because that was hilarious.
When he's like, you look like melted ice cream.
You look like melted ice cream.
Yeah.
Man, that
was good.
I love what they did. With
I'm totally crying.
with all the founding characters, and I love how they had all the little B and C characters come in.
Did.
Like
you saw Howard the Duck in one of the screenshots.
Yes, Howard the Duck is in it.
Yeah,
who's that?
He's Howard the Duck.
Anyway,
maybe that's hard time. You don't know who Howard the Duck is. Filthy.
I want to say they even made a TV show out of the comic book.
Was he like a
detective
duck?
He
is a detective duck. Yes,
I think I know.
But he lives in a different universe, like a different dimension.
And he did a cameo in the ending scene of, I think, Guardians.
Yeah,
2.
No, I think it was Guardians 1.
Never saw it.
Oh, okay.
It was the first Guardians.
Oh, yeah, that's right. In the Guardians 2 was when they presented Adam
Warlock.
Yeah.
Which I'm super excited
if they do that.
If they bring in Adam Warlock in whatever happens next, which would make sense because say they do the Secret Wars,
which people are assuming that they're doing.
If they did Secret Wars, that would be crazy. Or even if they did the Skrull Secret Invasion, that would be dope too. Which would bring back the Skrulls. It's what 15 years later or 20 years later. When was it?
Skrulls connected to
25
Captain
years
Marvel?
later.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And they also showed them in. Didn't they show?
We haven't seen them.
I thought we did.
We didn't see them in Endgame.
Who was the blue one? The blue characters in the end of the very first Avengers.
That was the Kree.
The Kree. Ah, shit. Never mind. I'm getting them mixed up.
Okay, so if the Skrulls come back, which would make sense if they change sides, because it's been 25 years. So a lot could happen in 25 years. So if they do decide to make Secret Invasion and bring the Skrulls back and make them the villains this time, that would be phenomenal. Because now you've kind of empathized with them. You're like, well, maybe they're not bad guys. And then if they come back and they're bad guys now, it's like, motherfuckers tricked us. This whole time we thought they were good.
Yeah.
But Avengers, super dope.
Yeah.
I think we got a little treat of most Marvel characters, which was super dope.
Got to see them do some of their powers. Pretty cool.
Yeah, you got to see like some dope ass team ups and just all around. I think the shot where you see like the Avengers side and Thanos' army side,
yeah.
like the super pan out, the panoramic shot with like everybody, like, oh man, I'm not gonna lie to you.
Bit.
My eyes got a little misty. I really and well, I mean, it's no fucking secret how big of a comic fan I am.
That's true,
like, just in general, like.
So it was probably more special for you than it was probably me in Philly.
Yeah, it was a little bittersweet because I know that there are other Marvel properties that didn't have the opportunity to be part of that, like X-Men, Fantastic Four,
yeah.
you know, like these other founding Marvel entities weren't a part of such a big moment.
It wouldn't have been fair if the X-Men were involved.
It
That would have
wouldn't
been solved
but-
so easy.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is like it sucks. It
Can you
sucks.
imagine Cyclops, Wolverine coming into the cut, Magneto even.
Yeah,
You know Magneto wouldn't have let Thor get away with that shit.
and that's why I
He
feel
would have been
like
able to just hold his fucking arm out. open.
whatever they do on the next phase is
Yeah.
going to be that much more amazing because now Disney
Owns all of it.
owns Fox.
Disney owns the world.
Which
So,
is totally against antitrust laws, but whatever, they're gonna make great movies.
but what I'm saying,
And we're
exactly.
gonna pay for it. They made what, $4 billion now or something like that? Like
Yeah.
how much did they made?
Like Endgame is
Yeah.
still running in theaters, and other movies have left.
It's right across the street. We're about to see John Wick, but it's right under it.
Yeah.
It's like, okay.
But so now that they own Fox, now they get those entities back, or now Marvel gets them back. Now they're able to incorporate them into the next phase. Like now we're just it might not make it to this phase or it'll make it to the ass end of the phase, but or whatever the new arc, whatever they're calling it, the saga. Maybe they're gonna call them
Joe
sagas.
arc.
But
Arc.
but what I'm saying is now that they have everyone back, now our dreams are going to be furthered because we were able to see in Endgame, we were able to see the culmination of 22 fucking movies.
That's trippy.
Like, when have you ever been able to say that?
What comes?
Because
Nothing comes close. Not even Star Wars comes close. to
James
that.
Bond,
James
but-
Bond.
but James Bond has changed.
Yeah.
So it changes like every set amount of movies. It's changing.
What has the most amount of sequential movies, even if it's a trilogy? Is it Aliens with 12?
Aliens?
But
Doesn't
Aliens
have
has
12. No.
Well, if you include Alien versus Predator, that's
Yeah,
What
12.
I
about
don't
Rambo
count
and
that.
Rocky?
Yeah, I don't.
That only
count
goes
them,
up to 8. Star Wars is 9.
Star Wars is 9. Even the Star Trek movies aren't like
No, they're not.
concurrent.
Yeah.
They're it's constantly changing.
But even those, if you did try to add those all up, it only gets you to like 6 or 7.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is like
In
with a
terms of, like,
consistent
canon?
story,
Yeah.
a saga.
Exactly.
We haven't ever been able
this
to
is
see
the first
this.
one to do it.
This is the first one to do this. Maybe there's some animated ones. Maybe in other countries, maybe there are. But as far as big global, a global effect,
Mm-hmm.
this is it.
Mm-hmm.
This is the
This is
first
it.
moment that we were able to able to see something like this. Fuck you, Keenan, for laughing.
Philly's singing.
Fuck-
He sung
fuck
over
Philly
you
too.
talking. He sung over
But,
you talking, which was hilarious. 'Cause he was
So
gonna do
yeah,
it.
so it's epic. To me, it's
you're
epic. To me, it's
You're
a
my
lot
epic.
more.
I think that there's
Amazing.
nothing more awesome than a movie that came out and changed the world.
Now with Fox,
With more
like I said,
awesome on the way.
with Fox owning, with Fox being owned by Disney now, being able to bring all these entities because now they also bring in aliens. Now Disney owns Aliens. Now Disney owns Avatar. Now Disney owns Titanic, and
Avatar, which already made billions.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez. And they're
So-
making a sequel too.
now here's something that happened last
Somebody's
week.
check is going to be fat.
I don't know if you guys knew about this, but last week
Disney bought the government.
Disney,
That happened years ago, bro.
Disney came to an agreement with Comcast
Oh shit.
because Fox owned a decent portion of Hulu, right?
Yes.
So now, since Disney owns Fox,
Disney owns
now
Hulu.
they gained majority stakes of
Mhm.
Hulu.
Mm-hmm.
Now they came to an agreement with Comcast, who owns the other percentage
Mm-hmm.
of Hulu,
Mm-hmm.
and Disney is going to take full operations of Hulu now.
Mhm.
Comcast is going to get their cut, but they have nothing to do with it but their
Mhm.
cut.
Yeah.
So now Disney's going to release Disney Plus, which is their own streaming service,
Uh-huh.
and now they control Hulu.
Yeah.
Now, what I know Disney's going to do is they're going to keep all their PG kid related
On
shit.
their Disney stuff.
PG-13 tops,
Mhm.
light comedy PG-13 and under will stay in Disney Plus, and any like graphic shit that they want to keep, they're
Uh-huh.
going to toss it on Hulu.
Which is good because
so
Hulu
all
does
the
have,
Fox shit,
doesn't have a lot of
yeah.
movies. Hulu is lacking in movies.
I honestly, I have
Oh, my
no problem with Disney being in control of all this because they are providing excellent
Oh
content.
no, you sound like the people who want the government to control everything.
I don't see. Again,
I'm just kidding.
it's not the first time I've ever said it, and I'll
Okay.
always continue to say it.
What?
I'm a motherfucking consumer. I consume entertainment
Okay.
like a madman.
So what you're saying is keep a lookout on Hulu for some awesome shit.
Which is good because Hulu doesn't have
Yeah.
much but TV shows.
The moment that Disney starts doing wrong, then I'll have a fucking problem.
Mhm.
But the fact that they're making such great content and actually listening to fans
Mhm.
and actually doing what fans want,
And Galaxy's Edge.
it's like what argument are you going to have? Like,
Yeah.
yo, we're giving you more Star Wars.
Yeah.
Now we're giving you Star Wars TV. Now,
Star Wars Land.
we're buying these properties that we're suffering and we're going to bring them back and revamp them and
Yeah.
everything's going to be dope. Like, Disney, here's my Vaseline. Use a lot of it because I'm going to let you go to town, motherfucker.
God,
Somewhere out there, a Walt Disney is stroking his mustache.
Like,
stroking something. That's for damn sure.
hey.
Damn Disney. Damn.
Yeah,
Well,
guys.
That's gonna be the name of the episode. Damn Disney.
Damn Disney. Not so hard, Disney.
That's good.
Oh, jeez, Louise.
That's gonna be great. And it's so hard to get into that company too. I tried to apply for them for their Imagineering program. Actually, turns out one of my coworkers actually got a
How
job
long
working
ago?
for them. Oof, like right out of high school, some
Dude,
shit like
you should
that.
revisit that if that's
I should
something you're
revisit a lot of
interested
stuff. That SpaceX, all that stuff.
in.
'Cause
Your
I-
resume is definitely better now.
and at work and off work.
Mhm, mhm.
And hearing about an employee who just got a new job at Disney, I was like, maybe I should. And that nobody's like up in arms. The only crappy thing is their work is being now spread out to everybody. But
Yeah.
a lot when I spoke about that to the other coworkers, they're like, yeah, other coworkers like, yeah, I quit before. I remember leaving, not finishing my work and leaving all that stuff behind. Me, the nice guy, tries to finish up his work in the last 2 weeks, but a lot of these other people were like, no, I just fucking leave. So I was like, God damn, maybe I should go back and relook at.
Well,
'Cause
your
need money.
reputation
Yeah.
carries, and some
Yeah.
people don't give a fuck about their reputation.
That's true. That's true. Yeah. Yeah.
But with that being said, should we move on to some soapbox?
Three hours of content. Let's do it, guys.
Nah, we're not gonna go on those fucking 3 hours. No, just one last thing that I did want to bring up. Because
Was there anything on Trillo that he really wanted to talk about? No, okay, never mind. Then go back, Joe.
I don't think I've ever added anything to Trello past
I'm
the
sorry,
first 2
because
weeks.
he's always prepared. He always got the fucking strap on him. He's always got that thing on him.
That's right.
Keep my piece close to my waist, bro.
There are two super crazy dope things happening right now.
Let's talk about
The
it.
Eastern and Western Conference Finals are happening.
Oh, God.
That's sports, right?
Sports.
Yeah, real quick. The Golden State Warriors are doing something phenomenal.
They're moving to San
here's-
Francisco.
Well, yeah, they are. But what's happened is that like this season, they've gotten like a lot of shit talked about them. How they're like how they didn't have a great season, even though they finished number 1 in the West. How they looked like they were struggling the whole time, and they look tired and they look old, which is crazy because 6 years ago they were the underdog. 7 years ago, maybe they were the underdog, and everybody was rooting for them. So you live long enough.
And they won 3. Like they won 3 championships within the last.
You
right?
die a hero, or you live long enough to see yourself become
Oh my God!
the villain.
Whatever.
So
That's a
that's what
fucking
we're
quote.
witnessing. People are just talking trash, but the Western Conference Finals is shit.
Timeout. I thought
Okay.
they won.
The,
They
we-
tied up
the
twice.
Western Conference Finals right now are happening. It's the Warriors and the Trailblazers. To say that the Warriors have owned the Trailblazers, I can't say it's an understatement, but it shouldn't be a surprise. Because even though the games have been close, the Warriors have definitely dominated. And right now we're seeing two very different sides of basketball with the Western and the Eastern Conference Finals. Like the Bucks and the Raptors are playing very traditional ball, and it's kind of boring at some points. Right now we're at this is going to be a buzzer beater or some shit, but it's going to be dope. Anyway, but then you see the West, and it's like super new school, like very foul driven, and fuck you, Keenan. Fuck you, Phil.
Billy's
Anyway.
going to sleep in the corner.
Fuck you guys.
Joe
Fuck
sounds like
you guys.
NPR. He's so fucking boring.
It all sounds to me like it's the bottom of the ninth.
So the basketball is super dope right now. You guys are about to know if fuck you guys.
Are fans allowed to buy shares or trade in the sports things that they watch?
No, they're
No.
owned. They're privately owned.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a
with actually-
shame.
yeah,
Eh?
the teams are definitely.
That's a shame.
So
Fans should be allowed in the profit sharing.
Yeah. I mean, you're not wrong. The other thing.
So anyway, just glance.
Oh wow, they're going to overtime.
Yeah, because they let the fucking Milwaukee shoot
All right.
that shot. But
So the second thing is Game of Thrones.
Game
Game of Thrones ends tonight.
The
We record this show on Sunday nights. We're gonna
Another thing.
we'll talk about it next week. What I want, if possible, any
Don't
of the
say
listeners.
anything to Joe.
No,
Oh.
any listeners or anything that are, give us your opinion on how you felt about GOT and how it finished. We'll discuss it on next week's
Now I can watch
podcast.
it.
Finished?
We can watch it
Yeah,
finally.
because this is
Oh.
final. The final. It's
I
the final
haven't
episode.
I mean,
seen
look, I'm not
one
gonna lie.
fucking episode. I haven't seen anything.
I once came over to Joe's and he was watching Game of Thrones, and it was an episode when
Someone's banging somebody.
like all these homies were left on like they ran into like that Ice King's fucking
That was a
kingdom,
dope ass episode.
and they were
too.
on they were like fending off his entire army, and they were all back to back,
yeah.
like seven
Yeah.
of them.
Yeah.
They each had each other's back, and they were like,
It was
it was just
dope,
a
yeah.
lot of honor. So I won't lie,
That
It's well
that
written.
episode was
Yeah.
honor filled.
Okay.
but I don't know much about shit about Game of
Dude, I
Thrones.
mean, I haven't watched any episode from
This-
beginning
well,
at all.
This
It's
is the
gonna be
perfect
great.
time now because
Yeah.
now you're going to be able to run right through it.
That's right.
So yeah, any of the listeners, just please, if you guys have some comments or anything, shoot them our way, and let us know how you felt about the end.
Yeah,
of
get
Game of
involved
Thrones.
with None of Our Business Instagram, Facebook.
Yeah, None of Our
Let's
Business
talk to us.
Instagram
We'll talk
at
to you.
the None of Our Business podcast. You can find us on Facebook at the Noob Podcast.
Yeah.
Linktree is the
Mhm.
Noob Podcast. At Keenan Duncan, at Philip Lanos, and at Joe M. Castellanos.
Exactly.
Super dope episode. We're glad we're black. We're
Joe?
glad we're back.
It's finally out. Joe secretly
We're
wants to be
also
black.
glad
admitted
we're
it.
black.
He just admitted it.
Keenan has been suspecting this for some time.
Years.
He's like,
years.
It all makes sense now. But yeah, we're glad we're back.
Joe talking about, well, what do you mean, you people? And you're like, what do you mean?
What do you mean, you people? Yeah, let's hit it on over to the soapbox talk. Keenan Duncan, hit us with the
Hit us with
S.
something.
BT. Soapbox talk.
Oh,
Did you say S or X?
SBT.
I heard SBT, but here is the funny thing. You guys should pick me a bit later because I don't have a soapbox for this episode.
Goddamn.
So a lot of stuff's been happening to me, but not in the sense where I find myself complaining to myself in the car.
Wait a
going,
minute. Let's explore that. Why do you not have complaints these days?
Yeah, why don't I? Maybe because I'm actually doing stuff now. And I'm working on my projects, finishing signs for friends, working on shows. Thankfully, Raised on TV did a great job, even though it was Game of Thrones night, Mother's Day. People still showed up. Pretty much the whole crowd was Raised on TV fans. They rocked it out. and the mint that they're played at are going to allow them to play again on their final comeback tour the last day in August. So that would be awesome. Maybe I'm doing more at work. I'm talking to the owners and getting to know them more. I'm working on my projects at home. I'm taking time to relax. Haven't even masturbated that much. Damn, that's wild. Been going out and seeing shows and talking to people. I haven't been masturbating that much. Did I already say that? I was going to say that. Okay. And that is some wild shit. Yeah, I'm doing things. I've been doing things. I'm doing more things. Maybe I'm also really excited about this podcast. So I've been eager up to do this. But yeah, doing a lot more. And haven't run into a lot of negativity where I can actually complain about why this hasn't happened to this and why this hasn't happened to that. Still working on my whole dating scene. I did join all these dating apps. Haven't heard from anybody yet. Even though I reached out to a few. Had a friend help me out with that, which was kind of fun. She took photos of me. All the new photos you see of me that I will post on Instagram now, she took those, which is nice. I want to open up my mouth, my legs. Shout outs. I want to shout out to the person who took the photo. Yes, it was Sheila. Sorry, Sheila. Thank you, Sheila, for the photo. She has her own
Sheila Sharma.
Yeah, Sheila Sharma. She has her own television show on YouTube. Check that out. Yeah, it's been great. My soapbox for today is that it's all good.
Hey.
That was nice.
Fuck yeah.
God
damn it. Fucking solid. Look at that. Made something out of nothing.
Yeah.
Keenan, you were learning.
Jason Bond.
Yes, Keenan.
Filthy animal.
Well, my friends, it has been a long time since we've last spoke, and all I have to report really is very similar to what Keenan has said. You know, in that hiatus, it gave me the opportunity to sort of focus a little more on what I was doing, as opposed to making sure I set aside time for this as well. Because, you know, in all things in life, it's not about taking on more. It's got to fit somewhere, you know, and that means a compromise has to take place. And this is why evermore you should be more relentless as an editor and more reckless as an artist, meaning take chances, and also take chances in the fact that some people you may not need around as much as you thought you did, not because you needed to them to use them for something, but it's at all times you should be weighing things and understanding if it's getting you closer or further away from your goals. There's nothing wrong. People shouldn't take it personal, especially if you take the time to explain things. Your time is limited. It is valuable. Do not devalue it, and do not hurt yourself or others by putting time where there shouldn't be any. You've got to be greedy where it counts, and you've got to be generous where it counts. And you can only be generous where it counts if you were greedy where it doesn't count. Meaning, this doesn't count, I'm not going to be about it. And that only happens to get better and better along, hopefully, if you take your experiences in life seriously. It's really hard to be able to do that and to prioritize when you're busy worried about your future, or, you know, wishing things were like they used to be back in the days with your friends and family and everything else. Only by being fully present can you make perspective choices as opposed to judgment choices. Judgments and arguments aren't enough to make you to create, and the future is created. And if you're busy judging things and arguing about things, you're never going to get the opportunity to clear up enough headspace that you can create a perspective type of choice, a constructive decision that actually creates and gets the arguments to then be able to take a movement forward as opposed to staying in place. You can never have enough critiques about something to finally find a new way out, a new way forward. So take care of your time.
Nice.
So that's kind of what I've been up to.
Take care of your motherfucking time. Briefly before I hop onto my shit.
Game of Thrones.
No. I was gonna say that's it's partially why we've decided to really do this show in seasons.
Oh, okay.
In seasons, because just to add to what you guys have been saying, when we've allowed that time, it's allowed us time apart from each other and to continue to do what we should be focused on within our lives, because obviously this isn't this show, although we love it. I mean, speaking for myself, we love it. It's not funding our lifestyles.
No, we're not getting paid for this shit.
So we absolutely need to take time away from each other to also reset ourselves. And obviously we try to bring you some dope content, as random as it is. We do try to bring you some dope content and keep you guys entertained. So doing these in seasons and taking some time off from it, even though it's a short time to some, it's a lifetime to others. So we want to continue to do that. And in order for us to keep ourselves fresh, we got to take breaks. Gotta take breaks.
Yep. That's it for your soapbox.
So my soapbox talk. Well, I
wrap it up.
All right, so my soapbox. You know what, guys? It's never too late for anything in life. It's never too late to do anything. Going back to school. It's never too late for love. It's never too late to do something for your fellow man. It's never too late to start a new family, because there's some people who just, make new families. But it's never too late to do anything. Age ain't nothing but a number. And no matter how old or how young you are, you could always try again. I say this because thinking I'm back. I'm thinking
Yeah.
I'm thinking I might want to start making some new music.
What?
Look at Keenan jizzing. Keenan just got up like, wait a minute. What?
This is my soapbox, motherfuckers. You guys have to shut the fuck up. But for the longest time, I've been of the notion, like, you know what, I haven't had it in me for a while. I hadn't been making new music. I was pretty much out of making music. But why stop? I don't necessarily have to do it. I don't necessarily have to make music for a specific goal. So why not just continue to make music with no real end in sight for it? Like, I don't have to do it for a show, or I don't have to do it to become famous, or I don't have to do it for anything. So why not? Fuck it. I'm back, motherfuckers. I'm going to start looking into music, to making new music. Be shopping for beats, and I'll be writing. So you guys are going to hear some stuff from me. This is as much a surprise to the guys as it is to you guys. So, yeah, you're never too old.
And you know what? I'm about it.
So,
ooh, can I get
we're gonna make some music,
Billy and Joe
motherfuckers.
collaboration?
Long time coming.
Everything.
Awesome.
And with that, ladies and gentlemen, this has been episode 1 of season 2, or otherwise episode 26 of the None of Our Business podcast. We have been your hosts, Philly Fanatic, Philanthropy, Keenan Duncan, K9, Joe, Jason, Solo Rhythm, coming back. Boo, 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 boo.
Eat your woman out.